Mastermind. This is a recorded session. Anand, I don't know. It's raining in Bangalore. I don't know what makes you feel that. But perfect. Are we all ready, folks? Can we all type in ready in the chat? Yeah, yeah. Let's do it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Perfect. Looks like we are. Perfect. Okay. Folks, no spamming at all. You will be removed without any notice, please. Okay. Perfect. We're getting started. Why is your voice echoing? Folks, are you able to hear my voice? Yes, all clear. And all clear if you're able to see me as well. I'll quickly start sharing my screen and we will get started for day one. Okay. Perfect. Let's do it. The chat will now come to hosts and panelists, right? I'm sharing my screen. Give me just a moment. Perfect. Are you all able to see my screen? Yes. Folks, all your questions will be answered. Wait it out. Let's get started first. All the logistics questions about recording and certificate, give me 5 minutes. We have just started. Okay. Perfect. All of you are able to see my screen now. Echo, try joining in. Back. I'm as loud as possible and as close to my PC as I could be. So there shouldn't be any noise. No, you are not visible. Folks, one last confirmation. Are you all able to hear me and see me? Yes and yes. Is it echoing? No echo? Okay. For some people, there is. Okay, perfect. For majority, it is not. Folks, in case if it's echoing for you, try joining in back. Leave the Zoom meeting, join in back, right? I'll also try to be closer as much as I could be. I want to make sure that you are able to see me visible, loud, and clear. Perfect. Let's do this, right? Perfect. Welcome everybody to Generative AI Mastermind for Engineers. Why do we call this Mastermind? I'll quickly come to that. It is organized by Outskill. Now, who Outskill is? Outskill is the world's first and largest Gen AI education platform. And we live and breathe one thing, that is generative AI. We have been in existence for last 5 years. We have been training people about generative AI in all sorts and walks of life. Our goal and vision is to bring generative AI education to 100 million people globally by 2028 and contribute in building the next generation of workforce. Right? We have already sort of taught a lot of people. This event is the most powerful film that you will ever attend, and it is ever created. You won't find this anywhere else in the world. And we have been doing this for a couple of times. So let me give you some stats before we dive into the training very quickly in about 2 minutes. Right? We have taught about 11 million learners across all demographics in terms of people in engineering, non-engineering, from no matter which domain you come from. We have taught people from almost 173 countries who have gone through these 2 days of experience and multiple initiatives that we contribute to, and over 100 hours of learning, 100 million hours of learning. My bad. Right? And it's been phenomenal. We have been rated 4.8 out of 5 on almost all of our sessions so far at an average, right? We keep on doing these sessions, take your feedback, keep getting better and better, make sure the content is completely updated, and it serves the need, and that's how we do it. Now, very quickly, who is this person who started coming talking, giving us details about Mastermind? Let me tell you who am I, who is your host, and what am I here to do. First of all, once again, welcome to Generative AI Engineers Mastermind. This is curated for tech professionals, for engineers, or people who want to transition to tech field or tech roles. Right? Now, I'll quickly tell you how it is structured. Before that, my name is Om Asnani. I'm head of community and AI strategist. I'm also a founding member at Outskill, also practitioner and teacher of AI. You'll see me coming and changing a couple of things as well over the days. I've also implemented a lot of processes at Outskill, and I've consulted a lot of brands outside as well. Right? Now, this is me. I've also been, as I said, an AI consultant and educator, helping a community of over 10 million learners outskill with help of AI, and been awarded as one of the top mentors by global platforms, top made, ADP list, and a couple of more. Right? This is in 2024 and 2025, waiting for 2026. Nominations to come in, but yeah. That's me. And my role is going to be making sure both of these days, today and tomorrow, are making sense for you. You take a lot of action items and involve AI and make things better, faster, cheaper. These are the things that we are going to give you in terms of outcomes. Now, why these 2 days matter? These 2 days are going to be sprint. Do you all know what sprint is? All the engineers in the chat? Do you know what sprints are? Yeah, you have worked with product managers, you have worked in building feature sets. People who don't know what is a sprint is a process where you take out one feature or one problem statement and you ship it quickly, right? As simple as it will get. Now, these 2 days are dedicated in learning AI, finding out what exactly three core skills are that every AI native engineer needs, right? It is about opening your eyes to future of engineering and giving you essential one-on-one skills to start playing with AI. Now, is it only for engineers? It is not only for engineers. It is curated for engineers. People who want to transition to engineering, want to understand tech and how AI gives you more control over things that you generate and build is what this is for. Now, if you are from marketing and design, which is I see about 7% of people, you will be able to understand this as well. It will take slightly more effort, but hang on, everything will make sense. Now, for everybody else who are tech professionals, engineers, I'm already seeing a poll. We have product managers, tech entrepreneurs, software engineers the most, right? We are going to come back to all the concepts that are being taught multiple times so that it makes sense. You are able to get actionable outcomes, right? Broad overview of this mastermind. This is a 2-day mastermind. One day, the day one, which is now, we're going to go till 10:30 p.m. Today's session will happen in 3 phases. First phase is what I'm going to take very quickly in 2 minutes. Then we'll have a mentor come in and teach and go very deep into productivity and AI agents, specifically for developers. Then at the end, I'll tell you a few more frameworks and sort of summarize the session, and then we'll close out for the day. That's day one. We'll be here till 10:30 p.m. Tomorrow is a full day session where we start from 10 a.m. in the morning and we go till 7 p.m. You get enough breaks in between and you get a lunch break as well. And in case if you want to take a break and there is no break coming up, feel free to take 2-3 minutes of break and come back. You won't miss a lot of things. We are all professionals. You are the master of your own time, but make sure you are here all the time, right? 2 sessions will happen tomorrow. We'll go deeper into agentic AI and live demos of agentic workflows. We'll also look at multiple case studies of how companies have adopted AI in their work. For example, brands like Twitter, brands like McKinsey, and how do you build sort of multiple agents for security, compliance, how do you code with AI, code much more deeper and geek out. And then at the end of tomorrow, second session is where we'll go deep into MCPs, which is how do agents talk to each other or do tasks. And we'll also talk about orchestration of agentic workflows. At the same time, how do you build a team of AI agents? How you build multi-agent system? There's a bonus session coming in. We might also talk about RAGs and how organizations are building their own RAGs. What are the use cases and how do they go deep into so that you get actionable input on what you can do exactly when you go back to your work on Monday. Right, and that's exactly how these 2 days are designed. And if you stay with us for the day 2 till the end, day 1 and day 2 combined, you will get eligible to be attending bonus day 3, which will happen on Sunday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The details of that will come in tomorrow, right? So you'll also be eligible for a certificate if you attend the full 2 days of training live with us. Right? So that's basically how it's going to be conducted. Now, few tips to make the most of this training before we get to the learning part very quickly. Few tips. It's going to be a 2-day session. You will need some information to understand how we are going to do this training so that you don't have logistical questions and we focus on learning and learning. So give me those 2 minutes to make sure you have complete understanding as to how we are going to do this, right? First of all, make sure you take notes and screenshots. In case the chat is off at times because we'll keep switching chat on and off depending on the time of session and the activity that we do. There is an AI companion on Zoom, which is a diamond color, diamond shaped button. You can click on that. It is a chatbot that remembers what am I as a host or a mentor is saying and can look at my screen and tell exactly what's happening. And you can ask a question and it will respond to you, right? It's a live AI agent. Zoom allows for you to ask questions. And then second, be respectful and kind in the chat. Right? As simple. No more explanations there. Have trust and patience. A lot of things are going to be fast. A lot of things that are going to be slow. A lot of times it might feel a little overwhelming. At some point, you will know everything. That's short. right? The main part of this is a structure of the training. We have done this almost over 100 times, iterated multiple times, and we exactly know where you will have the feeling of overwhelming or fast or slow. We have designed it in such a way that you get the most outcome no matter which domain you come from in engineering, right? So have trust and patience. This all of the 2 days will make sense, and at the end of the day, we'll take your feedback and we'll iterate for the next one, right? And do not spam on the chat box, no matter whatever the question is. Only type in once. Mentors and hosts can read your messages and can respond to you as well. When the message flow is very high, we'll try to respond to as much as possible, but do not spam the chat with any links, with sending messages multiple times, or any bold text with a long form of text, right? Do not disturb the flow of the session, and you will have to challenge yourself. It is not going to be easy. Spending 2 days completely with us, learning a lot of stuff, making a lot of notes, and executing as well at the same time, right? Now, that's basically how you need to behave in the chat, and I'll tell you what's going to happen. The chat will be set to host and co-host, as I said, so learn experience is smooth. But do not worry, our team is going to completely be active on chat, respond to you when it's required. If there are common questions, we'll respond to everyone and make the announcement as possible so that you get the most out of this experience along with the AI companion that's going to be on, right? Before we begin, the question that all of you had, a very important disclaimer. Oh, almost, I think 7 people have asked this. And someone is saying, please start quickly. Sayak, what am I doing? But yeah, thank you for the reminder. If you don't see this coming in, before we begin, a very important disclaimer, right? No recordings will be provided. We do not offer recordings because these sessions are designed to be highly interactive with active participation in the chat and activities. And also, we might ask you to share a couple of information and you might not be comfortable. That's why I keep the chat to some panelists so that we are open to share what's happening, how you can implement, you can share and sort of be open, which makes us believe that this is a comfortable and engaging environment for everybody, allowing you to feel immersed in experience. We also keep the chat on for everyone at couple of times, so you can interact with a lot of people inside the chat and work with them as well, right? But no recordings will be provided. You'll have to attend these 2 days completely live with us, right? Now let's get to phase one. Let's get to phase one. Generative AI engineering mastermind. Now, who do we have exactly? We have a room full of engineers. Let me once again quickly take a look at the chat. We have about a couple of thousand people right now. What exactly does poll say? Yeah. The poll says we have about 35% of people who are software engineers. We have data scientists about 10%, another 10% product managers, about 5% tech entrepreneurs. We have DevOps about 5%, UX designers about 2%. We have non-tech crowd along with students, which is totaling to about near 15%, right? And then there's others field as well. People who are in technical functional roles and all of that, right? In the next 2 days, what you're going to see is how exactly engineering domains are unfolding in AI native world and how do you build your AI native workflows. You'll walk away with new lens and practical wins and the confidence that you can already start applying AI in your work. Right? Without getting a lot of blockers or understanding of, okay, is it secure? Fear of non-compliance, we'll clear all of that. Right? We'll clear all of that. Now, the big shift in engineering is already happening. Right? The world of engineering is being rewritten. It's not only generating code, it's also automating workflows. It's shifting hiring expectations most importantly, and it's across every engineering role. Right? It's upgrading every engineering role, and we're going to see what's exactly happening. Right? These 2 days of Sprint Zero are your first step towards becoming an AI native engineer. Now, even if you're in QA, how can you become an AI native engineer? Work with your expertise and work across the board in engineering team and contribute there. Definitely, software engineers have the most power and sort of unfair advantage here, but we'll tell you how can you get that leverage as well, right? AI agents are already learning how to collaborate. Companies need to work along with them, which is one of the major challenges that we see companies and people in India execute. And how do you work with AI agents? What exactly do you do with them? We are going to give that clarity. Coders are already coding less, right? Andre Karpati already says that it's a bit like learning to code all over again. But I basically can't imagine going back to unassisted coding. AI assisted coding and vibe coding. We are going to talk about that difference. But what he says, he can't back to unassisted coding at this point, which was only the possibility just 3 years back, right? And AI native, what does it exactly mean? It means you start with AI and end with AI. And engineers or a lot of people in tech not only involve themselves in coding, it's much more beyond it. For example, Raman, who's one of the engineers in top companies, he starts with uses Gemini CLI to debug production incidents, activate and actuate changes on CI/CD pipelines, does risk analysis and changes on postmortems, writes slide and documentation because you need to sort of show what's your pipeline, what's shipped, what's not. Also run capacity planning estimates, and it is not just coding. It is way more than that. And what exactly are the workflows? How sort of you can pull this off? You're going to go much more deeper. And if you're entrepreneurs or if you're senior managers, I won't sort of be surprised if 4 out of 5 of your employees are already AI agents. If not, it will come in the near future, right? Universal impact is that every role is being upgraded. Now, how do you need to look at this mastermind for the next 2 days of what lens you're going to put on? We have people from multiple backgrounds, and you might always have a question. I am a quality engineer. How does this AI fit in my role? I am into DevOps. How does this fit in my role? I am exactly a product manager or a software engineer or a marketer, designer. Whoever you are, how does this fit in? What exactly can I do? And that's the clarity that we're going to give you. So the next few slides, we'll talk about every profession one by one so that you have a lens to look at this mastermind, and then we come to face very quickly. Right? So pay attention on the screen. If you are, for example, if I'm talking about backend engineer, type yes or no in the chat so I know you are hearing me and you are able to see that, right? Let's get to the first one. Universal impact is that every role across engineering, across tech is being upgraded. And we're going to talk about 5 to 7, which are the most that come to these sessions. The first one, backend engineer. How many backend engineers do we have in the chat? Yeah. Perfect. And have you heard about the term called orchestrator? Perfect. Your role is now becoming an AI workflow orchestrator. This is how your role is getting transitioned. All the expectations are getting. What they are doing right now is designing RAG pipelines, building these LLM-powered microservices, along with that integrating prompt templates, vector databases, and embedding APIs, and working across and cross-functionally with infrastructure team. Right? Real-world examples, we are going to talk about a lot of examples so you get action items of it. So these are one of it. 12 labs along with LangChain that engineers today create a custom pipeline that retrieves video content contextually and respond via APIs. That's one. Second, now we are getting into QA. How many of you are QA in the chat? Quality analysts, quality engineers in the chat? Yeah. And have you heard about building test agents? QA testers. You do a lot of testing almost on a daily basis, maybe 1,000 line of code at least, if not much, right? What exactly you will be doing now is using LLMs to auto-generate test cases, deploying AI agents to monitor test environments and auto-heal themselves, replacing regression tests with scenario simulation with help of AI agents. Meta, the internal QA team already uses Code Compass to auto-generate test cases, right? And that's what it is today already happening. Now, data engineers. How many of you are data engineers in the chat? Folks, this is for students also. I don't know why these questions are coming. If you are here, it is for you. If you are on this session, you will get leverage of this. This is how it is designed, okay? Data engineers in the chat? Yes, me in the chat? Yeah. Perfect. Plus cloud engineer. Yeah, correct. Data engineers and cloud. And DevOps. And architects. And solution architects. Right, we'll come to that. Data engineers are a soul. How many of you use Perplexity? Their engine, that search engine of their retrieval engine is designed by a team of data engineers. So the role is now moving towards becoming a retrieval and embedding architect. Now, this is a cross-functional role. You work with an expertise of data engineering, also with DevOps, to look at the infrastructure as well, which is a new way of doing things. You are focusing now on building semantic search instead of basic ETL pipelines, creating chunking logics, creating embeddings. How does the whole system work? How do you build vector pipelines and retrieval-based APIs, right? Perplexity, as I said, that semantic search engine is essentially built by data engineers working with embeddings, chunking, and faster retrieval infrastructure. Right? Glean AI, which is the largest AI consulting or organization today, also uses internal knowledge bases powered by fine-tuned search and RAG systems. So fine-tuning, reinforcement learning, right? Concepts like definitely vector databases handling Pinecone and LaMDB is what you do, but that's how deep you go into, right? How many are into DevOps? Do we have DevOps? DevOps, cybersecurity. Your voice is breaking. Looks fine, at least on my end. Yes, in the chat, folks. Do we have DevOps? Yeah, I see. People in DevOps, people in infrastructure roles, people in security, cybersecurity, network security. You are now transitioning into AI ops or LLM specialists. You might have already seen these roles coming out, where the role focuses on creating auto-scaling, alert-resolving LLM agents, replacing dashboards with natural language observability, along with building these AI interfaces for internal infrastructure monitoring. That not only engineers can look at and understand, but also business person can look at and understand. So it's easy to sort of look at and make decisions based on that. So you're working more closer with business while handling the AI agent AI infrastructure to scale it further, right? A lot of times, you're also helping teams with migrating their code base because agentic AI workflows, the infrastructure itself has to change and evolve, right? So you are the one consulting the team of how this will work and how to sort of go forward from there. We are going to go to much more details very quickly. Netflix today uses AI for anomaly detection and dynamic infra routing, right? And also, finally, we can't talk about all 30 professions that we have today, but we can talk about top 6 to 7 of all of us cover. How many product engineers in the chat today? Yeah. Product managers, product engineers. Yeah, perfect. You're now becoming someone who's a multi-agent UX integrator. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? It means when we build a team of AI agent, who is the person who decides how they are going to talk? What are the frameworks we are going to use? How do they communicate with each other? How do they collaborate with each other? How memory is going to work when you have 5 agents working together, right? So embedding LLM copilots inside apps, designing these multi-agent systems with contextual memory, building end-user assistants that mimic human interaction. Shopify, that engineers deployed a GPT-powered assistant to help merchants manage stores, right? And that's basically the lens of what you need to look at this with these two days, right? The new identity is how do you become an AI native engineer? You already have your head of department or head of tech, and then you are an AI native engineer building or working with your AI native engineering team. You're building these specialized agents or a team of agents depending on the tasks, depending on the functions of the role and the output that you generate. This is how it's going to look like. The next 2 days, observe this not from what expertise you belong, while that stands true, but how exactly you can transition from your role to being an AI native engineer and what all you could do and adopt AI in your work from here. And that's what is going to give you clarity. The engineer of tomorrow does not just write code, they design systems, they orchestrate workflows. We're going to go deeper into orchestration very quickly in these 2 days as well, and lead a team of AI agents across every layer of tech, every layer of engineering. The idea is how we can help you think and be an AI native engineer, and that's how the whole of these 2 days are designed. So here's my promise. If we all are on ground zero, we will make sure that you are 10 levels from here at the end of 2 days, and you have a lot of use cases. You understand where exactly to adopt AI, how it could be secure, how it could be scalable, and what can you do today and see outcomes, make your work better, faster, or cheaper, and how do you adopt and become an AI native engineer. Once again, for everybody who was asking, before we shift to phase 2, broad overview of this mastermind, we are going to go deeper today into productivity and AI agents for engineers and tech people. We'll be in this call till 10:30 p.m. today, and tomorrow we'll start back at 10 a.m. in the morning. We'll end the day at 7 p.m. with multiple breaks and lunch break coming in. We'll have introduction to agentic AI, live demos of agentic workflows tomorrow, And we'll also talk about orchestration of agentic workflows, multi-agent systems, RAGs, MCPs, APIs, microservices, and a lot more in detail. But let's get into phase 2 for the day and understand. Now let's get into the deep tech stuff, what all of you have been waiting for as well, right? This was to give you complete clarity of how these 2 days are going to look like and how you can get out of yourself. The next part is going to give you deeper understanding of now what are the things I should look at generative AI and adopt. We are going to look at 10 things that you can adopt today and how do you build agents. We are going to look at multiple IDEs. You might have a lot of questions around Cloud Code, Cursor, how do you code with anti-gravity, and a lot of questions. And case studies, how as an organization I can adopt. So that's what we are going to do for the phase 2. Now, should we invite our mentor for phase 2? To get these outcomes, you must come to be present, engage in demos. I think I've made that already clear. We'll have question answer time as well for all of you who are asking questions. We have dedicated time for that. Take down a lot of notes and let's now welcome our mentor for the phase 2. 2 days of focus and I'll make sure you are ahead of 90% of engineers. Right? With that, the schedule is Indian Central Time. It is Indian Standard Time. Yes. Perfect. Let's welcome Divij Bajaj, who's going to go deeper into tech and tell you what's going to happen in the next couple of hours. He'll take you through developer productivity and AI agents. Divij is data and applied scientist at Microsoft. Very closely work with Microsoft Copilot team if you use that product or want some understanding. He's also building genuine solutions for education and a lot more interesting problem statements. He's also written a few research papers with Microsoft and published that. He'll talk about that very quickly. And he's also ex-VMware mentor, one of the best mentors in India for learning and training in the AI. And that's who we have today to tell you exactly how you can involve AI in your workflow. But for that, can we type in welcome Divij in the chat? Can we type in welcome Divij in the chat? Can we? Yeah, let's welcome Divij with a huge round of welcomes in the chat. And that's how he gets a lot of energy to stick with you for about next 2 hours and give you as much as he can share with you as what he has learned, implemented, and only your energy will decide how open and the kind of things he shares. Welcome, Divij. How are you doing today?
Hi folks. I'm doing absolutely great. How about you?
All good. You see the energy in the chat on a Friday evening.
Yeah, I can see a lot of people are excited to learn more about AI agents, and I think now they are pumped up.
Yeah, I think I've given them enough clarity about phase 1, about how they can involve and how they should look at. And I think we'll go much more deeper, and I think I'll come back and summarize at the end. So, Divij, the floor is all yours. People, I'll come in just about some time.
Amazing. Let's get started. I want all of you to be this much energetic only, and I'll make sure that you will be energetic till the end of this first session today because we will be covering a lot of exciting stuff. And this is for everyone. I mean, if you are a very beginner in AI, in a sense, you don't even know what AI agent is, we will be starting from defining all of that. Let me quickly share my screen and get started. So just confirm me once you can see my screen, and few things I'll be just highlighting before I go into the session. Just a second. Yes, can you see my screen? Is it shared? And I'm perfectly audible, visible, everything is perfectly working.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, thank you. And yeah, before I go into my introduction about sharing my journey into the AI, what I'm building, right? Om has already covered a little bit, but I'll go very quickly into that. But before, I want every one of you to take notes, right? I mean, you are free to choose, free to write your own notes and do it on pen and paper. I believe that is how learning happens. But don't write each and everything. Just make pointers. You can take screenshots, right? And team will be sharing you few resources after 2 days mastermind, right? So don't ask, where I can find these decks and all. You will be getting few resources, obviously not the deck, but you are free to click the pictures, write your notes, and take everything else throughout the session. And What we'll be covering, I'll just cover. So now I'll just introduce about me, and then let's get started into the session what we want to cover today. So my name is Devej, and currently I'm working as a data and applied scientist at Microsoft. And my journey began, I would say, in 2013 when I was playing with these two devices. Can anyone tell me if you have used these devices or have even seen? Have you ever seen these two devices? I think they were very famous back then. I would say 10 years back, right? And a lot of people were building a lot of cool stuff. Yes, Arduino and Raspberry Pi. So I was an IoT engineer. I worked at Air India, the company which operates flights. So I worked at Air India as an IoT engineer. I was there collecting a lot of sensors data, right? The sensors data which are attached to these two devices. We were getting a lot of petabytes of data at that point of time. So I worked there for a very short stint, I would say. And then I thought to pursue my masters in AI and machine learning. So I went on to University of Hyderabad. Did my masters in AI and ML for 2 years, and then started working as an applied scientist at VMware. So I mean, I'm really excited about this space because I have seen that transition from your machine learning, legacy deep learning models towards AI, right? Like the generative AI wave that is happening right now. So I mean, it's really cool to see that how the dimensions of this entire space has been shifted towards large language model, and now it's AI agents. So yes, I mean, I'm here to share all that journey with you. And yes, I'm a part of M365 Copilot team if you have used this. So I'm specifically part of Teams product. So my co-workers are building the Teams features. So anything you see related to Copilot which comes in the Teams product is something we develop. And this is the last slide about my intro, right? This app is what we built in 2023, right? When ChatGPT just came. Can you tell me which year was it when we first time saw the wave of generative AI coming in, or when ChatGPT just came? Can you tell me the year and the month? What is the month if you remember? No, it's not 2021. It's November 2022. Yes, exactly. So it was November 22 when the ChatGPT wave just came in, and there was no RAGs, right? There was no AI agent at that point of time. I'm talking about 2022, and you can say early 2023. Then it was only large language models, right? From where we began this generative AI era. And at that point of time, we won this hackathon. We built a full-fledged application, Edu.ai, for students, for teachers, and we integrated entire NCERT books, CBSE books, ICSE board books, all the sections, all the classes in one single app. And students are free to choose their books, their syllabus, and can prepare quizzes. They can have their textbook answers. Right? I'm talking about at that point when there was no RAGs even introduced. Right? I mean, ChatGPT was just used for a few tweaks and answering Q&A. So at that time, it was pretty new for us. But if you ask me today, anyone can go and build this, right? It is so easy that anyone can go and upload their PDFs, anyone can go and upload their NCERT book, and can do a Q&A on top of it. We have a lot of applications which are open source. When I say open source, that means which are freely available, like Notebook LM, to do this task, right? So you can see, I mean, why I wanted to highlight this is in AI Wave, I have seen the products got built, it got scaled, and by the way, it was integrated as a Shiksha Copilot in Microsoft. And thousands of, I would say, 10,000s of schools were already using this application and still using it, right? But it got scaled, it got hyped, but actually, how AI progressed, I mean, everyone can go and build this now. So, this is where I wanted to highlight that the things are happening at rapid fast pace, and that's the reason we want to stay updated, right? We want to have that learning mindset that yes, whatever comes, fundamental will remain same, but new things will keep on coming. Fundamentals will never change. That's what true is. So with all of that, let's get started. And I'm again very happy again coming here and sharing my knowledge about the AI agents. So what we'll be covering today is everything about AI agents. What are AI agents? What are the four fundamental pillars of AI agents? how to build one agent, right? I mean, I'll be going into building one agent, which is a very beginner level today, because you have tomorrow where we will be going into some advanced stuff. So you can imagine today's session is all about foundation setting and building your first AI agent. If you don't attend today's session, I mean, there is no point attending tomorrow's session. The reason is tomorrow's session is on the advanced level. We'll be going into the term I am just quoting right now, which is multi-agent system. So if you don't know what is multi-agent system, which I will be covering today, you will not be able to understand in tomorrow's session, right? So today is all about understanding, getting our hands dirty, getting it started. You don't have to do it along with me, but you have to just focus and see how things are working under the hood, because everything works on those four pillars which we will be covering. Right. So I hope this is clear what we're gonna cover today. So this session is all about how native AI engineering is happening in companies like Microsoft, Google, and others. How people have adopted it now. If you have seen or if you have heard, I don't know how many of you have heard, Sundar Pichai, I think just 2-3 days back, I published it on LinkedIn also. He himself claimed 75% of the code in Google is written by AI agents, right? Even in Microsoft, I can tell you in last 6 months, every code that we have shipped or every feature we have shipped in production is written by AI. It's just that we have tested it out, we have done the thorough testing and everything else, right? What is needs to develop, but everything is written by AI agents, right? Yeah, be it anything, right? Claude Code, be it your GitHub Copilot, all of that thing. We are using Claude Code, by the way. We are using GitHub Copilot, both the things. So yes, right? That's where now native AI engineering is getting shifted, and that's what we will be covering: how to become 10x productive. This is our goal now. How to become 10x productive? What time it used to take to ship a feature like 4-5 weeks for a single feature has now slashed down to 1 week. Right? I mean, even less than 1 week sometimes, but at least I will take 1 week. That 1 week, a complete feature end to end, shipping, testing, and productionizing. Right? So we'll not be deep diving into machine learning. If anyone is expecting, we will be going into random forest or any kind of XGBoost type of algorithms of machine learning. No, we are not introducing or talking about any ML or deep learning stuff. They are still used in a sense for some of the projects in companies. Yes, still ML is used, right? It's not ML become obsolete when large language model comes in. No, it's not like that. ML is still there, but we are not deep diving inside machine learning because the demand is for AI agents. Everyone, I mean, if you see around, and I'll take a lot of good examples today, everywhere, your existing apps like Zomato, Myntra, Amazon, I'll show you all three examples how they are building AI agents now. So, right, let's get started then. I hope this is clear and you are excited how we're gonna learn what we're gonna learn today. So, I'll start with the first definition. What is an AI agent, so that you can have a clear cut difference between, you can say, traditional software engineering versus AI agent engineering now, right? So, first of all, if I would just want to define, and I don't go with Google's definition, I want you to understand your own definition of AI agents. So now if I tell you what is an AI agent is the smart large language model, right? Or I would say we have made our large language model to that extent that now it is becoming smarter, right? And how it is becoming smarter? By taking those actions. It is becoming so powerful that with just command, with just my input, it can go and execute it in the real world, not just text output. What ChatGPT gives me right now. So this is what AI agent is for me, right? Who can connect tools, who can connect to planning, and I'll be dissecting all of these. Who is capable of planning things out? Who is capable of having the memory optimization? Who is capable of taking actions out? It's just that I have to be as an engineer. I have to make him capable. And that is the part of AI engineer, because no AI agent can go and get the right set of tools or get you API keys, get you connected with a lot of other tools. You still have to go and connect to tools. Right? So I'll give you the example. I think this will make you much clear that where AI native engineering still exists. I mean, how to think about shift that is happening. Let's say I want to build a simple calendar-like app. Right? All of us have used Google Calendar or any other calendar, right? if I want to build this app using traditional programming approach, and yeah, I can see a lot of people are having I mean questions in the chat and everything. We'll be taking all the questions towards the end, so don't worry about that. And yeah, we'll be taking every question towards the end. Just focus on the learning part, and we will be going in the Q&A towards the end. Now, just imagine if I want to build a traditional software for calendar booking. And if I go with our normal programming language, any programming language you can think of, I have to go and write bunch of use cases with like if else, right? Like if I want to block the calendar of John's, I have, let's say, some application like Google Calendar. I'll write bunch of if else statements that if that slot is available, go and block it, right? If not, then come to the second block. If not, come to the third block, and so on, right? So that is like how I am writing rules for my traditional software approach. But now in AI agentic approach, across applications, whatever you use on your day-to-day life, you'll see one change: the introduction of natural language. Right? That's the reason we are introducing the natural language, that hey, can I type in something in English? Right? Because most of the models are understanding English, but they are coming up with, you can say, native Indian languages as well. But as of now, if I stick to English, I can go and describe, I want to book a calendar with John whenever he's free. Now it's a job of AI agent, and if I have given my Google Calendar access, I have given my Gmail access. This is you have to give it. Right? I will go, I'll check it out how to provide my, let's say, Gmail API. How should I give my Google client, Google secret to make my AI agent connect to that? Right? I have to give that connection, or you can say permission for my AI agent to connect to it. Right? You might have heard about OpenClaw, right? Which got very famous. I mean, the person Peter got hired by even OpenAI. His company got sold in billions of dollars with just one open source OpenClaw agent, to whom if I give my permissions of everything, he can manage it. So permission is still we have to give. So let's say I've given my permission. Now I'll just instruct in English language. It will go find the best slot in our calendars when both of us are available, book a meeting slot, send an email that, hey, I have blocked your calendar. So this is the change that has happened. Underneath, my AI agent might write some piece of code, right? It might have to write some piece of code where it is connecting to Google, Gmail account, calendar account. It is writing that code. But for as a user, right? For a user, it's just the command. It's just the English. And that's the difference. If you just carefully notice on this slide, that we started in 2023, and I always consider 23 because I mean November 22, so it's like just 1-2 months left, right? So let's say that we begin this AI agentic era or AI era in 2023, generative AI era. Not the traditional AI, right? Traditional AI is long back. If you just consider, it's from 1960, by the way. Generative AI, right? So generative AI era began in 2023, and now there is a traditional difference between your large language model and an AI agent. First difference, right? Major difference. Knowledge cutoff. Your large language model has this, I would say, limitation, right? And this is not by choice, this is by design. They are static in knowledge. They have the training cutoff. Even I can check that, right? I mean, I can check in front of you what is the cutoff knowledge for, let's say, ChatGPT, and what is the point till where it got trained, right? I can directly go and ask to ChatGPT, let's say I'm opening it. So this is my limitation of the large language model, right? What is your knowledge cutoff? Sorry, right? I can simply ask this question: what is your uh, knowledge cutoff? And you can see it's almost an year, right? Almost. I mean, in next 2-3 months, we'll say that this model's knowledge is 1 year old. And if you see that said, I can still help you with the newer real-time information when needed by using available tools. And this is what I wanted to show you, right? Tools. Standalone large language model is of no use if I want to ask something recent, because its knowledge cutoff is August 2025. Now, if I want to ask anything which is recent, that what new inventions happened in AI space in last 1 week, or if my query is how many startups got funded in Y Combinator, which is of AI space in 2026. All for all these queries, my ChatGPT has to use some tool to perform this action. Right? And that's exactly what the basic difference is. Your large language model is brain of my AI agent. It's the main unit who is controlling it, but that has a static cutoff knowledge. Right? And every model, not just ChatGPT, every model will have the cutoff knowledge. The reason is I can't keep on training these models. My affair of this training is very costly. It's $1 billion of investment, plus it is very compute extensive. Right? It requires, series of GPU to train these models. So it's not feasible. Similarly, I can give my AI agent a tool who can now go and search on the internet, can bring the data and do it for me. Right? And there are standalone companies. I'll show you one which is only solving this problem for my AI agent. Right? Connecting AI agent to internet. That's what exactly, right? What ChatGPT do, ChatGPT can do a web search, your Claude can do a web search. But have you ever thought how? Because of these tools, and there are existing companies who are just the tool as a company for your AI agent. I'll show you one. But operations, right? Operations means text in, text out. You put a text into your large language model and it gives the text out. But your AI, now AI agentic application is you put a goal in, it will be actions out. Until now, I am surprised with Claude, right? Claude desktop even, you have lot of actions coming out, but still ChatGPT can't do. If I ask ChatGPT to draft an email and go and send it onto my Gmail, it cannot do it till now. But Claude has improved a lot, right? Claude, if you are using it by any chance, if you are using Claude, right? Claude is doing amazing stuff, right? They have a lot of connectors, lot of things. I can connect my Gmail, I can connect my Drive. So your Claude is no longer a large language model or it's just a chatbot. No, they are already becoming an agentic. They are agentic now, right? So that's how a lot of shift that you will see that everything in the future will be agentic, right? So it is goals in action out. Obviously, data access, I can connect my external data via APIs, via browsers, or via MCPs. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Have you heard about MCP? Quickly in the chat. If not, because we'll be covering that tomorrow. Have you heard about what is MCP? Yes, no. Okay. So my question to all the people who are saying yes, you can keep this with you till tomorrow. But if you want to answer, you can in the chat. Why I needed MCP when I had APIs? When I already have the concept of APIs to connect with my large language model, why did I needed MCPs? Right? For all the people who know about it. If not, we will be covering this in tomorrow's session. Standard for AI agent to talk. Yes, all of this, but there is a fundamental reason why we needed MCPs, or what makes it so significant that APIs are, still not used now. It's a standard protocol, right? Okay. Let's not go there, right? MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. If I want to give you a very high level, yes, it's a standard given by Anthropic. On a very high level, I'm covering. Why not APIs? Because APIs are used for web application, and I have to design. If I am building something, I have to write each and every request, whether it's a GET request, POST request. I have to go to the documentation, right? Do all the stuff, bring it into my application. That what is my endpoint? How the JSON looks like? How I should call this API? AI can do that, but it is like very fragmented. Right? If now I'm a company, I have published my MCP server, anyone can come and connect to my MCP server if it is hosted. So that becomes the standard. You don't have to worry about what all different API schemas that are available for that product. No. One MCP server, I have all the tools inside it. I'm good with it. So that's the standardization which we are doing. Now accuracy, and this is possible, right? This is possible because of AI agent, because I can connect MCPs as a tool to my model. Accuracy, obviously, it will increase. My model, who doesn't know after 2024, 2025 August, it will hallucinate on anything which is not even there. Until now, this is the biggest problem with my large language model. They hallucinate. But if I have internet, still my hallucination can go down. So now how you can envision your normal chat GPT or any other model is simple large language model. But now when I give them as an access to my tools, it becomes agents. It has the memory, it has the agents, and that's what four fundamental pillars of my AI agents. Right? So they don't hallucinate. Hallucination means the model try to make up the answer of its own. Right? Until now, I mean, I can show it to you. It will still now do some hallucination. Have you heard about new thing which is Claude Juggernaut? Anyone? Have you heard about Claude Juggernaut? How to overcome hallucination? We will cover that. You just have the all things. We will be covering four pillars, right? What is Claude Juggernaut? Right? You see, you might have, it is giving me the answer, but still hallucinating. Some people online use the phrase AI Juggernaut to describe the leading model. Example GPT Claude Gemini. Claude Juggernaut would be the slang for top tier Claude model. Right? And there is nothing existing Juggernaut, right? There is no word Juggernaut. I just made it up just to show you, right? Just to show you that it might be not 100% sure, but still it will answer. It cannot say, I don't know. What's so hard to say, I don't know, right? So that's the reason. You can see my chat GPT screen, right? Isn't it? You can see my chat GPT screen.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. So I thought you were just looking at the right. So you see, right? This is still telling you something that it might be a good model, it's a best model, blah blah blah. That means it is doing some hallucination. Model still hallucinates. And again, this is not the drawback, this is the limitation of these models that become overcome by AI agents. Now, what are the four fundamental pillars? This is slide, if you understood, these are my four fundamental pillars. Now, if I want to define AI agent in your own terms, anyone asks you going forward today, right? Since you are learning right now, what is an AI agent? AI agent is my large language model which gets connected to planning tools, have memory, and can take an action. This is what my AI agent is. Right? They are still a large language model. I mean, lot of times when I interact with folks, I mean, I've got this answer that large language model is different and AI agent is different. Right? If you understood this slide, they're not different. AI agents just complemented the limitations of my standalone large language model. My LLM were weak, right? My LLM has limitations. It overcomes those limitations and we call it as an AI agent. Still, it uses large language model alongside these four things. So now you got the answer. Every one of you, what is an AI agent? It's a smart large language model, or you can say it's a large language model combined with planning tools, memory, and actions. And now what we will be doing, we will be dissecting in each four pillars. We'll be looking at what are these, how AI agents actually does things under the hood, right? In all four of these pillars, and so on. And then we have agentic patterns. Then we'll be building AI agents. And I'll be introducing you the new way of interacting with this, like Cursor. We have Claude Code. So that's how my session is planned throughout. So we'll be looking into Claude Code. We'll be looking in the Cursor how to operate these tools now, right? On a high level, so that tomorrow you can go into the depth of building actual multi-agent system. Perfect, right? So now let's see what is all these four pillars. I'll be giving you the example first, and then we will be dissecting it in each one of them in further slides, right? This is just the example. Now planning capability. What is planning? Now we are asking or doing into the research of what is X module, right? What is planning, what is memory, what is tools, and what is actions, which is the actions coming out. So my planning capability with AI agents is like making my to-do. And how it happens, we again cover in the further slides. Don't worry about how part, I'll be covering how, but right now is what is planning. Right? So planning, as the name suggests, and if I tell you the analogy, how human intelligence works is exactly the same how artificial intelligence is also working, right? I mean, artificial intelligence is derived itself from human intelligence, not just theoretically, but I would say biologically also. And I mean, if you go into that depth, I mean, I'm not going, but if you just look at human brain, how human brain functions, what are the components inside human brains, right? If you are interested, go back to this biology term, right? After this session today, just look at the brain structure of humans. You have billions of neurons. You have something called dendrites. You have something called axons in our brain who passes these signals to each other neuron, right? We have billions of neurons in our brain. Similarly, you have this billions of neurons in this artificial neural network who is passing the information one or to each other, right? And then it takes action. So it's very, very similar to human intelligence. And if I ask you, right, if I give you any task, you also plan it out, right? You also make a plan for executing that task. And similarly, if we give a high level task to an AI, that if I go and say research our competitors, AI agent will go and make a plan. And that's how Cursor, that's how Claude Code, that's how your Google Anti-Gravity, every AI agent will work under the hood. First step will be planning. Always. Always means always. That's your fundamental. That's like first principles. It will go and make a plan out of it. That hey, if I want to achieve this goal of research or competitors, I will find my competitors, right? Let's say I gave for outskill only. I have given research my competitors. I'm teaching at outskill research our competitors. So it will go and find all the competitors, like who are major players in, let's say agentic AI. Then it will analyze their products. Okay, who is offering what? Compare the pricings. Then compare the customer feedback, right? Go and compare the customer feedback, and finally it will give me all the findings, a tabular formatted things into my, let's say, Gmail, right? Not even just a text output. I will just instead go and research and give me a report, send it to my email. And I'm assuming that my Gmail is connected. So everything will be done via planning and all of that. This is what planning is, right? I'll be giving you the answer how in the further slides, but right now we are just learning from the first principle what is what. So four pillars, right? You don't have to forget this, right? You can take a screenshot. Four pillars: planning, breaking down of my high level goals into small to-dos. AI agent will make these to-dos. I can review them, I can change them, I can brainstorm with it, I can do all of these things. And that's ideally how you should do. Right? You don't let AI do it for you. I mean, do end-to-end thing for you before even going into planning mode. That's the wrong strategy. I've seen a lot of people, they give the full command and they want it to even planning and execution at once. No. You plan it out with AI. Then you get the best results, right? I have seen in my company and other companies. But yeah, let's see how planning is happening in the back end. If I tell you in short, it is chain of thoughts. So I'll be covering what is chain of thoughts in further slide. Now, second pillar, right? Tools. Everything in this real world is tools, right? Standalone large language model is trained up till cutoff information. I want my real time, I want my real world systems to interact with these large language model. And how to do that? Via tools. And how will I connect these tools? Again, two ways: APIs, application programming interface, or MCPs. Right? Both I can do. I'll give this tools access to my large language model so that they can take action in the real world, right? So that they can go and query my database, they can go and communicate to different AI agent, which is ultimately a multi-agent I'll be talking about. But tools is ultimately you can say the best thing which we have got so far, right? That's the connectors in your Cloud desktop. If you want to imagine what is tool, I can connect to Google Drive, I can connect to Gmail, I can connect to Figma. And now my same large language model, which is Sonnet, right? If I'm using Sonnet, by the way, I can switch between different models. But if I'm using Sonnet, I'm using Opus, I'm using Haiku, this is my large language model which can go and interact with multiple connectors that are available to me. And these connectors are nothing but my tools for an AI agent. Perfect. Again, we will be covering how and every part of it. Now from thought to action. And this is exactly the game-changing part for my AI agent. So now you have given the high-level goal. Yes. Right, you have given the high-level goal. It's not just giving you the email, it is actually going executing it step by step. And that's what AI agent is. Now, who is deciding this step? AI agent. you cannot control that loop. I mean, there are frameworks, by the way, if I tell you on a very high level. But if you can imagine, if I'm building a simple agent without any advanced frameworks, if I'm building a simple agent, this is where AI agent will be controlling all these things. So now you see who is commanding that, right? I mean, goal is given by a human that I want to do a research on my competitor and send it to my Gmail. But what it is doing actually inside that first comparing, getting the products, comparing the price, then again calling the web search tool, let's say, then again updating the memory, then again doing this multiple times, this looping, right? If it is not satisfied with the existing results, it is doing it again and finally sending me email. So who is deciding this order? That which order I have to execute? What should be my steps? AI agent. You are not controlling that, right? And this is simple as understanding the analogy of air traffic control and your airplanes, right? Your ATC guides a pilot. Your ATC is the commanding thing, right? I mean, air traffic control, who commands it? That you have to fly at this much height, at this much speed, let's say, but still a plane can run in autopilot. Exactly same analogy here. You are guiding it, but you don't know, right? What is exactly under the hood it is happening. AI agent is the one who is responsible for that, right? So there are good promises. Now, if you just carefully see, the promises are AI agent handles everything. I have just made my system. I have designed the system, and now AI can handle it. It can improve my productivity, all of that, but risk is also involved, right? What if the order of this chaining of multiple steps goes wrong? So your output is wrong. What if my tool description is wrong, or I don't have sufficient tool description that my AI agent was not able to call that tool? Again, your system is wrong. Plus, your autonomous decision making is good for your int environment, right? You know about int, PP, and prod. Like generally in like actual real world SaaS based products, we have three types of environment: your int environment, your PP, pre-production, and your actual production environment. So we will never give production access to my AI agent because that has a real world impact, right? I mean, this has happened. If you know, or if you're reading about the news which are coming in, this happened. I think one company gave the database access and it deleted, right? It actually deleted the entire database and Claude itself. Yes, Amazon Cairo, right? It has deleted the entire database. So that's the risk is also involved. It's not only the fancy word. I mean, if you ask me, we will never give AI agent my production access. It is good to make decision in int. I will test those things, right? I'll test the code changes. I'll do it thorough testing, and I will go and deploy, raise the PR, get it merged, and deploy it to my master in production. So human oversight remains essential, right? I mean, obviously they are improving day by day, but still I cannot risk that, right? Because the impact is huge, right? That is what it is. And now you got to know, right? This analogy, if you remember, my model is the brain. So your large language model is exactly the brain of your AI agent. So if you want to give or build a perfect agent, select the perfect brain. And there are a lot of brains available. In a sense, there are a lot of large language models are available. So you are the one as an engineer who has to decide for my application how the complex task is, which model I have to choose. Right? If it's a very complex task, I'll go with a good large language model, in a sense, with a good parameter language model with the thinking capabilities, right? Reasoning ones. But if it's a very simple task, let's say someone says, I want to build we get a lot of sentiments about the products on Google, on Amazon. We are selling some products. I just want a sentiment classification. Do I need Opus 4.7 for that? The answer is no. Right? I mean, if I am making use of Opus 4.7 for just reading those reviews and describing it as a positive, negative, I am not doing justice to that model. Right? I'm wasting my tokens, I'm wasting my time because they are slower. I can still use a very simple, right, Gemini Flash or maybe Haiku for doing this task and build my AI agent. So this is where your brain comes in. You are the one who will be designing this, selecting this brain for the model, right? So choosing the right model, if it has a complex task, I'll go it. Now the question comes, I get this question. How can I select, right? There are a lot of models. Do I know any benchmarks? I'll tell you how I do it so that you can also adopt to it. Right. So let's say I'll show you very quickly, right? How you can think about it, right? Obviously, we cannot benchmark. Can you first tell me there are a lot of platforms? Yes, I think Dhaval is mentioning one, but there are a lot of platforms. But can you tell me how many large language models are there right now? Just take a guess. How many LLMs throughout the world? How many LLMs are there? Millions? No, man. It cannot be millions. 13K. Nah, you are again optimistic. I would say people who are guessing between 500 to 600 are correct, right? And why I'm saying and how I'm saying it, you can actually go to a lot of websites, right, and can check. So if I go to OpenRouter, which I'll be using in today's session as well, if I go to models and only filter it out on text, right? We are talking only about large language models. First of all, a lot of people think all my models like images, audio comes under LLM. No. My large language model, as the name suggests, it's a language. They are only text models, right? So 665. And you can do plus minus 10, right? For the error, or might they have missed few things. But this is 665 models, both open source and closed source combined, right? Paid ones, which means closed source. Open source means which are freely available for me to download, right? What is OpenRouter? What is the significance of it? We will be covering because I'll be building an AI agent using an OpenRouter. So I'll cover that. But I just wanted to show you the number of models what we have right now. Now again, the question is how will I select the best brain out of this? If the question is I want to only select from open source models, then you can have a filter it on open source, right? But as an engineer, based on the task, you can come down to benchmarks. And now you and I cannot do all these benchmarks. I can still do a benchmark on top 2 or top 3 models. Right? I can go to my company, I can say that, hey, I have top 3 models. Let's benchmark top 3. Which one is working best for us? I cannot say let's benchmark top 100 models or top 50 models, even top 10 models. Right? No, I cannot. This is not a viable thing to do it. So what I can do, I can come to this website, right? What I follow is artificialanalysis.ai. I can go to intelligence model, right? Intelligence index. You can actually go and read what is there inside the intelligence. There are a lot of benchmarks inside it, right? A lot of, you can say, agentic coding, long context reasoning, maybe telecom. There are a lot of benchmarks inside this which companies are testing, right? And you can see what this stands for. Terminal bench hard, right? LCR. LCR stands for long context reasoning. So if I have a very long context in my application, I would like to go with this benchmark that, hey, I want my model so that it is LCR compliant, right? Long context, right? So this is how you can have, I'll just refresh, right? You can have your, you can say AI agents to be working on these things. And the major criteria you can filter it out is on intelligence, right? Intelligence, speed, and price. So intelligence means higher is the better. So that means if I am using the higher model, higher intelligent model, which has the high score, I can go with my top 5 selection based on this. Speed, output tokens per second. I want minimum latency in my application, which means higher the tokens output, throughput, and better the model is. Right? Price is just the vice versa, right? Tokens lower is the better. So this is 1 million tokens. That means if I want to use my Claude Opus, I have to pay $10 for 1 million tokens. So that's how you can go and first decide which brain is working best for you, right? Go to these benchmarks, click here, read about it, what they are, right? They will give you the complete description. I don't know, Samsung is getting updated, it is not getting clicked. But if you click on it, you will be seeing a complete description of each and every test, how this is happening. Plus one more important thing is your context window, right? Your context window. That means the maximum limit your model can accommodate tokens, right? Tokens, text, you can vice versa change, right? First of all, all my input, my words get converted into tokens. I hope everyone knows this. So I'm not going into that basic level. But you know, tokens is my maximum limit I can fit it inside my model. So I want a good limit of context window also, because now we are keep on increasing. But it doesn't signify as higher the context window good the model is. No, there is no such correlation that the larger the context window, the better the model is. No, nothing like that. But I will choose the good ones. And nowadays, if you see, right, all my top models have 1 million of context window. That means I can simply fit around 10 lakh words, which is very long, right? I mean, still I can go, but the rule of thumb says that I should not fill the exactly highest window, right? I'll go to 60%, 70%, but I cannot go up to beyond 1 million. My model will start behaving negatively, right? But yeah, you got a point, right? What I'm trying to say is you can come to this based on your application, like what you can say problem statement that we have got is, as of now, ChatGPT also takes to complete a response at least 4 to 5 seconds. Even Claude, we got a use case that I want my full answer in 1 to 2 second max. And it can be a detailed 1 to 2 second max, right? I have to choose the SLM lowest model who is very fast at producing these tokens. Plus, we went on to optimizing further by some strategies of LLM optimizations. Right? There are all the strategies in LLM, that is hardcore engineering, where we go into LLM architecture and do some quantization and all of that stuff to reduce the speed. I mean, to reduce the latency and increase the speed of my predictions. So that is where you will select the best brain for your model. Now, once you selected the brain, now you come to the body part of it. And body is again like how you have a body, right? And if I ask you what are the tools that human uses, right? Your eyes are tools, your ears are tools, right? Your hands are tools, your legs are tools. Exactly the same how agents work. So agent got his brain, which is the large language model. Now it's like the four pillars, right? The four pillars which we just learned is your body for an AI agent. And what I'll do once I cover this, I'll try to show you a picture of it so that you can visualize an AI agent. Because if I if I tell you, right, like if I have given you all the things and if I say you this is my AI agent now, right? This is the code. This is my code which will be covering. This is my AI agent. You don't have a clear picture in your mind how to visualize an AI agent, right? This is my agent. But since this is a code you cannot visualize, I'll go to some platform, right? I'll try to show you the visualized version of it, which is like no code platform, so that you can have a image of all these things what we have learned. So that you can recall, right? Whenever you hear a word called AI agent, you have a good picture in your mind. Like when I say Apple, you have a Apple image in your mind. So similarly, I'll show you, right? Like, don't ask me like, what is this tool? How I can go and try this out? I'll just use this tool called N8N, right? There are multiple, by the way. There is Flowwise, N8N, which provides me a visualized version of building an AI agent. These are all low-code tools, but I'll just show you for the visualization, right? So now from brain to body, first thing, planning, which my AI agent does. And what it use at the back end is chain of thoughts. Now, again, you have a question. I don't know what is chain of thoughts, so I will tell you what is chain of thoughts. In a one line, if I want to tell you, it's a prompting technique published by Google Brain team to make or increase the accuracy of my large language model. Right? That's in a one line definition. What is an, you can imagine what is an AI agent, how does it build, and all of that part. Right? So this is a good prompting technique, and to a surface level, this is a phenomenal act of, you can say, playing with words. Right? So Google tried this experiment. Google did this experiment. They gave lot of problem statements around like let's say logical reasoning, and they used one key term which significantly improved the accuracy of this, right? So this is, I'm not saying it is published in the paper. I have gone through this paper, right? This talks about chain of thoughts, and what they did is very phenomenal act, right? Chain of thoughts elicit reasoning in large language model, and this got published in early Jan 2023 itself, right? I mean, there was a research happening. So you can imagine that what they did with this technique is they introduced a term called step by step to make these chains, right? So they gave a lot of problems. In the paper itself, they have mentioned that we gave a lot of problems, and then we asked, we did the performance check, it was on the lower side, and after changing the prompt, let's think step by step, use chains, create internal linear chains, so model improved it. Right? If you want to see, take this as an example. Right? Let's think step by step. Right? This is the main thing they added. Let's think step by step. And you see, this is a classic example. This puzzle, I mean, any, I think, sixth, seventh class student can easily solve this, right? I went to the market, bought 10 apples, gave two to the neighbor, two to the repairman. I went and bought five more, ate one. How many apples I remain with? So model was doing a bad job. It's the incorrect answer. And they just added this line to the same model. Let's think step by step. Break down the problem step by step. These steps are nothing but your chains of thoughts. And that's how they came up with linear chain of prompting technique called chain of thoughts, and they break it down, and now they got the best answer. And the same technique got complemented, right? It got further increased, right? You might have not heard, I don't know. We are using, I have published my research paper on Tree of Thoughts role-based prompting. It's already published, right? You can find it on my LinkedIn. We have done the research. We did the same thing. We tried different experiments. We tried different prompts on different problems, and we got increased the accuracy. So that's how people are trying different techniques and looking at the different problem statements, right? But I wanted speed to be also, right? I want speed also to be optimal. I don't want my planning itself is taking 5 minutes or 8 minutes. So that's the reason we use chain of thoughts as the backend planning module for my AI agent. Right? By default, I mean, you don't have to mention it. You don't have to write, use chain of thoughts. No, you don't have to. By default, it will break it down into to-do. Now, AI is smarter, right? AI is even smarter. It knows what chain of thought is. It will break your input into these thoughts. And sometimes I also use tree of thoughts, but only thing is speed. Right? And this is, you can visualize from the image itself. You got to know what is tree of thoughts also, right? Chain of thought is linear, tree of thought is parallel. I mean, multiple paths. Because if I want to solve a problem, is it only one way to solve it? Or I can have multiple ways, right? I mean, if I ask you, how to research about my competitor, is there only a one way that go to internet, search? No, there are some other person will come and say, no, I'll do the reverse thing. I'll go to the market, I'll do the physical survey, and I'll try to find out on ground. So every person has different opinion, different ideas. So one problem can be solved by multiple ways, and this is how it is trying multiple ways. But do I need any agent for a, I mean, let's say first thing? No. In the sense it will take consume more time. So that's where my AI agent is working on chain of thoughts, and I can brainstorm on it. That's where I pointed it out in the beginning to you. And I'll show you. I'll exactly show you, and I'll show you the demo of Cursor. I will brainstorm with the AI agent. It will make a plan, and that's how Claude Code also does, right? Claude Code will make a plan, but is it up to you who will change that plan, or maybe update or modify it? So I will be brainstorming with it. I cannot. If I mean, people who say, I mean, I don't know, people who say vibe coding, who never know coding and they are building stuff, good for you. I mean, good, I have seen. I have met people, even if I tell you in my real world, because I interact with a lot of folks on some AI projects, who doesn't know even a sea of coding, right? Who have never done coding in life, they are building phenomenal stuff with Claude Code. But when something goes wrong, they don't know how to debug, right? So it's good to know coding and then using this tool. And this vibe coding itself is I feel that this is not a correct word. I would say AI assisted coding, right? I always say that you should do AI assisted coding. Because if you can brainstorm, if you can tell AI what to build, how to build, what should be the system design, that is a core value now, right? That is becoming core value. Writing a code is already outsourced to an AI, right? So with that, I mean, just coming back, planning is something we will use chain of thoughts, and I'll be breaking down my high level goal into step by step instruction. And this is the part where you will brainstorm with AI. After planning, I will be doing this justice of providing the tools to my AI agent. Now, this also, I mean, AI can tell you that for this problem statement, let's say you give this goal only, right? I want to research my competitors. It will come back and say to me, I need a web search tool. I need to query your system to get your prices, right? Because how does AI know about my prices and what courses I am offering? What are the different set of things I am doing in my company? I might have to give my company database access, right? So I have to give web browsers, I have to give database so that it can search the document inside my file system and do a fair comparison. So again, you are the one who is deciding. You are the one who is giving these accesses. Rest once I am given, right? I have given the plan, I have given the tools. Now you are the free to one go and do it. So that execution part where AI agent is doing it, I don't have much to worry about that, right? But giving all these things is yes, you have to be the one who will be doing it. Right? So planning is there, tools is there, depending on what all things my AI agent need, I'll be providing that. But there is a caveat over here also, right? Should I give hundreds of tools to my AI agent? The answer is no. You should be the one who is deciding the optimal number of tools for solving that task. If it only requires you 10 tools, I'll only give 10 tools. You have to make sure that all 10 will be used in one or the other way, right? If you're giving redundant tools, you are doing again injustice to your AI agent. Your AI agent has to go through the context, extra context. Your AI agent has to go through the memory, right? I'll tell you about memory, muscle memory, that out of 10 tools, which one I should go and select for performing that task. So you are creating a complexity for your AI agent. If let's say one tool I have never used and I still have provided the access, so that's the wrong thing. So you should be the one who is deciding if my AI agent need 5 tools for this problem statement, I'll give 5 tools only. If it needs 10 tools, I'll give 10 tools only, not more than that. And again, you have given the access how to give it via APIs and via MCPs. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, API stands for Application Programming Interface, which is like a waiter, right? You all know what is APIs. It's like a waiter. I send a request, it go and fulfill that and bring back the response to my application. So response is nothing but which my LLM will go and read and take the action. Now memory, right? Memory is also there. Your all ChatGPT, Claude has a memory. But when I am building my agent, I have to provide these memories. All my API calls to these models are asynchronous. All of you will agree with me, right? They are independent. If I ask one question, if I again come and do a follow-up, my LLM will fail. I need memory to be given so that all my API calls can be related. If I want to do a follow-up on my first question, without memory, it is not possible, and I'll show you live. After this slide, I'll show you live the visualization which I wanted to give you about an AI agent. All planning, your tools, your memory will be shown to you in a visualized way, right? So I need to attach a memory to my AI agent, right? And there are, I mean, various types of memories, but you can divide it into two ways: long term and short term. And when I say different types, they are different names. Your conversational memory, your buffer memory, summary memory, all of this is the detailed one. But if you are learning for the first time, imagine how human brain works. You also have two types of memories in your brain: short term and long term. And same thing my AI agent has. I can prove it to you that you have a short term and long term memory. I'll ask you one question. I mean, few of might you will remember. Do you remember what you ate in your lunch 2 weeks back? Or let's say 10 days back? No, right? I mean, unless and until it's a special occasion. Unless and until it's a special occasion for you, I don't know, right? What I ate in my lunch 2 weeks back. I don't know. But do you remember your 10th class marks? Do you remember 10th class marks, right? Yes, all of us. That's how exactly long term and short term memories, right? because how humans operate, similarly your AI agents. And finally, I have my actions coming out. Right, writing a code, sending email, and all of that, I don't have to, repeat, because this is what agent can do in the real world. Right. So if you put it all together, this is another example. If I give this task, and this is exactly what we have built in our company also, that anyone joins a company in our team actually, in Microsoft, there is an option, or there is a, procedure to assign a buddy. I think most of the companies follows that, right? That a new joinee will be assigned a buddy who will be taking care of giving the access, guiding him, because that person is new, right? He has to understand the code bases. He has to understand the process of the company, documentation, where we are, how the technical documents are designed, the architectures are designed. So you have to assign a buddy, and that person constantly be in touch with that buddy, right? Pinging a lot of times. I have been buddy for a lot of folks. Now, what we have done, since we have got an AI agent, we don't assign anybody to that person. We say that your first buddy is your AI agent. Go and ask everything to that AI agent. We have given all the documents, all the architectures, all the repo links, so that person who joins the team can exactly go and ask that where I should start with. So AI will make a onboarding plan for it. AI gives the documentation link that these are the document. Even AI agent can explain it, right? What is the architecture? So we have a project called Log Intelligence and Arma Copilot. So it will go and explain what is that, how it is built, where it is deployed, which all resources you should know. These are the trainings you have to go through, right? Like mandatory trainings. So exactly that's how it's like putting a system who will plan. We have given the tools. It has the memory. What is your progress, right? Like now every day the buddy will, the new joinee will come and say, I'm done with these two tasks. What is my next? What is my next? So there is a memory associated so that it can improve on it, or it can plan the next moves, and finally you see the execution. Right. So this is where my entire AI agent looks like, right? I think we are almost 1 hour down the line. We have covered about AI agents. We now know the AI agent is something which is a smarter version of large language model by combining planning, tools, memory, and actions. Action means executions. Now let me show you visually, right? So I hope everyone is clear with what is the definition of AI agent, how it is working. Now see one example, end to end, right? I'll show you visually, so that you have a good picture in your mind, like how we visualize apple when anyone says red apple. Okay, don't worry about how I am selecting this or how I am operating this, because I know this tool from last 2-3 years. This is N10. So I am using it. I know how to make perfect automations in this, and that's the reason. But I want to show you the functionality. So I will bring my AI agent now, right? You see AI agent. AI agent itself is a node, and this you should visualize now, right? On a chat message, if I go and delete this, on a chat message, if I send hi, this is green tick, right? This is just a chat message, and you see this is a metadata. I'm not getting any output. I sent hi, it is telling me that hey, you send a hi message. There is some session ID, which is some metadata. It's fine. Now I have connected this to my AI agent. Now see what is expected, right? I can see the red triangle, which means something is wrong here. I need to connect a brain. I need to connect memory, and I need to connect the tool. Planning is by default inside it. Planning is just a prompt, right? Chain of thoughts. It is already there inside it. That what how it needs to do. I can actually see also, right? I can see my system prompt. If I want to change it a bit, I want to add my instructions to it. I can do all of that stuff, right? I can do that. But it is already there that you have to do step by step, right? All of that. So what I will do, I'll give my first brain. As soon as I click on this, you see all the brains, right? Which is available to me, all the large language models which are available to me, and all of that stuff. Now I'll be giving one of them, right? Let's say OpenAI or OpenRouter, anything I can give. Now what is OpenRouter, right? I told you I'll be covering. OpenRouter is nothing but it's a smarter way of using multiple models in one API. That's it. Right? So now if you say that, hey, I want to use OpenAI models, what I have to do, I have to go to OpenAI, get my OpenAI keys, and I can use GPT-5, GPT-4, GPT 4.1 mini, all the models from the OpenAI series. If I say I want to use Gemini, I have to go to Google Cloud, get my Gemini API key, and I can use Gemini Pro, Flash. I want to use Anthropic models, I have to again go to Anthropic, get my API key, and I can use Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. So they solve this problem that giving you one unified API key and you select the model. That's it. Right? Very smarter way. So you can say they are the platform for LLMs. So they have single API, and obviously costing will be different for different model, but I can choose from open source, closed source, right? There are multiple models, multiple. Quen is my open source models. So you have open source, closed source, all the models within a single API key, and that's how they are working it. And that's how they are positioning their product is. So it's a router. And you see that's the noun you can connect to the name open router. They are routing it. Perfect, right? So I've given the brain. The brain is what? Brain is GPT 4.1 mini. This is my brain. Now if I go and say hi, obviously I get the reply because I have given the brain. It's like a hugging face. I mean, hugging face provides me completely free with the inferencing API. They charge for a little bit for these models because they are hosting it for right? They are hosting it. They are using the server of their platform. That's the only difference. Right now, you see, it has given me the reply. I'll just ask any random question, right? Explain me LLM, or I'll start with my name is Devech. Explain me LLM. Right, I've given my name. I'm asking a question. It is going hitting the LLM, bringing the response, and how does it doing it? Because of my API keys, right? Same. I have provided my API keys. It is going hitting the model, getting the response back. That's how API works. And you see the output. Hello, Divij, I would happy to help you. LLM stands for large language model. How does it work? It does some right tokenization, all of that, and finally it has given me the answer. Now, what do you think if I ask this? Because I have explained you already. Sorry, what is my name? Will it be able to give me my name? Chaitanya, this is the model. This is large language model. Large language model comes with APIs. No, right? It will not, right? In the same chat, if I ask what is my name, it is not knowing my name because it has no memory. Absolutely on spot. Some people said yes, but most of them said no, and that's exactly the answer is right. My all API calls are independent. They are not dependent. One API call, one response. That's it. Right? This is one API call, one response. There is no connection between my previous API response. So this says I don't know. And that's exactly why I need memory. Right? Now memory means what? Memory means database. Any storage. Right? Any storage. For our application, if I'm building a very large scale application, let's say like ChatGPT. Billions of users are using ChatGPT. They need a very large memory, right? Petabytes or maybe zettabytes of data. I can use Postgres, I can use Redis if my scale is very high. But for simplicity, I mean, I can use simple memory, right? Which N8N is providing me. So it can save all my context as per my limitation, right? I can give this, but yeah, it handles more than a limit, right? I mean, it can go up to very large limit unless and until I want to scale it to the scale like ChatGPT. Then I have to give it like Redis or some database which has a very large amount of storage. Now, if I have given the memory, right, I'll just ask what is AI agent? Yeah, you see now, right? What is AI agent? Explain me, or I'll first start with my name only. My name is Devich. Can you explain me what is AI agent? Send the response, right? You see my query. Send the response to my inbox. And I'll do one more thing. Search recent AI agents which came up. Right? You see, I have given a very complex query now, which came up. Right? I just started with my name. Can you explain me what is an AI agent? Send the response to my inbox. I want this response to be coming in my Gmail inbox, let's say. and I want, right, you see, and I want it to search on the latest. So it started with my name. An AI agent is an entity that uses AI to precise environmental through sensors and all of that. Right, they interact with their environment, so on, auto GPT and so stuff, right, because it has a knowledge cutoff, right, you see, it is giving you that I am giving you the recent AI agent of 2024, right, 2024, because the model has the cutoff knowledge. I'm using GPT 4.1 mini, right, it has a cutoff knowledge. I will send this detailed explanation to your inbox now. If you want, I can also share you the links and paper. Would you like, right? It will never do it. It is just saying me it can do, but it can never do it, right? Because there is no tools. Great. I have sent you the detailed explanation about this to your inbox. Like on the face, it is lying. So it can never do. It can even not do a search in this matter. And now if I ask what is my name, it knows because it is stored in the memory, right? Your name is Divij. Every conversation is now being stored in this particular point. Right now, the limitations you got, right? Because it cannot solve it, or it cannot take the actions because of the missing piece, which is tools. And I have connected one brain, one memory, but there is no limit on tools. Right now, if I give Gmail, right, I am giving my Gmail because it's already there. So I'll give my Gmail tool, right? You see, I go and select my Gmail account. Again, as I told you, it is the full learning curve. I just want to show you what is an AI agent, not how to use this tool, right? So we are not learning how to use this tool. Now, whom to send this email? I will say let AI decide, right? Let AI decide whom to send. I will give that. Subject let AI decide. Message let AI decide automatically, right? Now I will say what is A/B testing, right? I'm again asking any random thing in the sense some educational stuff. What is A/B testing? Summarize it and send to my inbox. Now I have to give my email ID because I have given the Gmail access, right? This is the access I have given. I have provided my Gmail access, which is simply logging into Gmail, right? If I want to give a new access, right, I can go here. I can create a new connection, right? If I go and say create new credential, I have to sign in with my Gmail account, select my account, give the permission so that it can go and access it. So I have given this permission. This is where I told you, right? You as an engineer have to give this permission. So I've already given it. I'll just delete this. I don't have to. No, I have to use my account. Yes, this one. Right now, two is decided by AI. Subject will be written by AI. Message will be written by AI. What is A/B testing? Summarize it and send to my inbox. Am I saying steps to AI agent? No. It is the one who is deciding these steps, right? You see the sequential steps. It has called the memory, it has called the model, it has again called the Gmail, it has again called the memory, again called my final model, and it has given me that, hey, I have explained you, I have sent this summary to your inbox. Now it has exactly sent this message. Right now, I should have received this message on my inbox that, hey, this is what your this looks like, right? You can see thread ID sent. It's already sent. So I have already received, right? Summary of A/B testing. The message is A/B testing is a method used to compare and all of do that. Right. So this is where I mean, yeah, you can do this, right? You just search for N10 tool. You can exactly. It's a 14-day free trial. You can explore it. But I wanted to give you a picture. Now, can you visualize this image? You take a screenshot of this and visualize this is my agent who needs one brain, one memory, but tools is again open to me. I can attach multiple tools to my AI agent. That's what an AI agent looks like. This is what I wanted to give you a visualized version of it so that you have an image. Now, what has changed, right? Unlike traditional automation, I hope this is clear, right? I mean, I just wanted to ask you before I proceed. Is it clear, right? Is it clear what is an AI agent? I hope everyone got to know now and you are clear what is AI agent. And thank you, people who are saying clear application. Perfect. Now, unlike traditional automations, right? They just follow the pre-programmed rules. Now you see AI is, I mean, I'm not defining these rules. I'm just giving the instruction and AI agent is the one who is taking the action autonomously. right? So this is not just the hype. Even if you see a lot of people are now posting, right? He's the founder, by the way, Greg. They are posting jobs that they want to hire the agent, fire for all agent. Someone can go and build the agent. I'll hire the agent who can solve this purpose for me, right? There are these billboards even. Stop hiring humans, hire Eva, and all of that, right? And even if I tell you, there are scientific research agent now who have written the entire paper, and the researcher published that paper, and it got published, right? Which was written by entirely AI. So the point is, AI agents are doing phenomenal stuff which are very tricky to to determine that whether it's human written or AI agent has written it. Because if you know about the process of publishing a paper, they are anonymous, right? I have published it. So we never send our names or the affiliation where we work. No, it's like an autonomous paper, right? I mean, anonymous doesn't have any detail, just the paper. So reviewers who are PhD holders and the professors evaluate whether it's a good acceptance or we have to reject it. So they did this experiment and it got published, which was revealed later that it was AI written. We now know coding agents. We are using Claude Code, Cursor, and all of that, right? So I don't have to tell you what is coding agents. These are my coding agents. We now officially looking at the benchmarks, right? The official benchmarks inside software engineering is known as SWE benchmark, right? Software engineering benchmark. And the model has already achieved up to 84%. This is 4.5. Now we are having Opus 4.7, right? I think we will update this slide also. But 4.7 has went up to 84%, and which is very close to the capabilities of principal level engineers, right? Not a fresher, right? I am myself a senior person, but principal level engineer capabilities is what this benchmark tested out, which is like an 84%. So, right, these are all things. What do you think? Is this the end game? Is this the end game for human jobs? Right? Because we all are seeing what is happening. They are doing a lot of great stuff. Absolutely. I wanted this answer only, right? Yes, absolutely not. This is not an end game, right? Thinking, building with AI is something which is gonna change, right? Obviously, it's like fast pace. I need less people, but this is like a partial autonomy, right? Not complete autonomy. The real truth is AI agents aren't taking jobs, they're creating new opportunities at the same time. That's what happening is, right? I mean, we all see both positive and negative sides, but I always want to give this as an analogy that I am looking at this perspective, or my perspective is AI agents is bringing new type of jobs, new opening new areas. I have seen solopreneurs, so many, that they are building such a great stuff with 1, 2, or 3% team, right? So it is becoming more and more. Some people are starting their own in companies and all that stuff. So it is opening the gates. And I compare this with an Iron Man analogy. I hope everyone knows Iron Man, right? You have watched Iron Man. So you can imagine this Jarvis, right? So when Tony Stark is in this suite, he can do a number of things, right? He can fly, he can fight, he can do n number of things when he's inside that Jarvis suite, right? So that means the same person become more capable. And same thing is happening with AI agent, right? You can become capable, you are shipping products faster, you are building features at large scale, and that's what exactly is the power of AI agents, right? So if you know how to operate with AI agents, is the one which will go, which will be in demand, plus who can build at scale, right? This is where we want to learn and focus on. Now, all of this, now you know what is AI agents, what people are building using these agents, which is exactly known as agentic AI. These are the patterns which you should try to find out in your companies or in your startups, if you're running any in your enterprise. That what agent pattern I can build out of. I would say majorly three, right? Majorly three patterns. But you should explore that this part of my business can be automated. I'll give you examples so that you can correlate. But from agents, now the phase or you can say phase three, right? We have done the planning and all dissecting of this. Now we are shifting towards agentic AI. This is phase three, you can say. Then we will be going into the build phase of it, which is that's phase four, right? Building means we're building an AI agent. I'll show you one framework. I'll show you Cursor. I'll show you Claude Code on a high level. How to use those tools. So now phase three is all about agentic AI. So how to imagine an AI agent is what you got to know that again I will repeat. AI agent is my smart large language model who has planning, who has tools, who has memory, and they can take actions or execution. Right? Those are my four pillars. Now, how to envision my products, how to envision my AI agentic products is how people are building agentic patterns. And these are well known patterns in the industry. So this is known as agentic pattern, how people are solving problems using AI agents. The first pattern is basic responder. Again, this is something people have classified under AI agents, but this is something we are doing since the invention of AI. Right? Basic responder means you go ask LLM, you get a response. That is what basic responder is. Right? You can take a screenshot. You ask a query, you have written a full-fledged prompt. It will go to the model and you will get a response out of your model. Right? No tools, nothing. Just plain vanilla query to a prompt and giving you a response back. Now, what applications you can think, I will tell you few, which are being solved by basic responder in companies, right? Can you think it of? Can you think it of what all applications are being solved? BPO, absolutely on spot. Rohit, chatbots, HR agents, I will say not call it as agent because I'm not attaching any tool. Exactly, a chatbot, right? Customer care chatbot. I think all of you are following along with me, and I'm glad to see that your responses, right? In which you can think it of, I can give a prompt. Let's say Zomato only, right? Let's say Zomato only. You are a customer care support bot for Zomato. You have to handle the query. You have to respond politely. This you can do. This you cannot do. Finish. I give a prompt. I give a model. My AI is responding to my consumer. That's it. I've not given a tool for, let's say, as of now, this is my basic responder. But now you say that no, I have to give my company policies document, right? How can an AI can respond without reading my PDFs? Right? Same question. If you have fit it in the prompt, well and good. But if you say no, I have documents which AI agent should read or model should read, it should be querying my some tools. It should have a capability of calling a human if it cannot be solved by LLM, right? Large language model. And exactly that what you call it as router pattern. So just focus on the names, right? Focus on these names because that is how exactly if you know the names, you can use AI tools to build these patterns, right? And the knowledge, again, I'll repeat this point, the knowledge is, or the future is, how much you know about these subjects, how much you know about system design, right? If I know now about router pattern, let's say you were not knowing about it before, can I go to Claude Code and spell out my problem statement? I want to build this. I want to have a Zomato customer support bot. First should be responded by an LLM, but once it get out of limit, if user is insisting of more, and if it is a, let's say, pricing related stuff, use the router pattern and route it to humans. You have to use this kind of router pattern, which means path can be anything. And exactly what Zomato does, right? If I go and say, no, I have got a bad order. I mean, the food was spilled. I didn't get the exact food. So it tries to, talk to me. But when I say, no, I want to connect to customer support, it will again try to compel with me, no, I can answer you and all of that. But if you try it few times, it will connect you a physical human. Right? Or lot of frauds. Zomato has done, Dipinder Goyal has come up with these things, right? If you have seen Zomato founder complaining about, right? If you have seen this news, right? Zomato founder claiming AI fake images. right? So a lot of people are doing, I mean, obviously this is not a good or this is a bad side, right? So remove AI generated food images. So they are building something on. So it's a good problem for them. People are building or uploading AI generated images like my food was not good, right? Or it was bad, it was spilled out. So they are solving this problem, that how they can detect whether the image is AI generated or not. It's a good problem, right? Very good problem. At least I have brainstormed on this a lot, so I know about what goes behind the pixels and all. So we have also done something on these lines. But now you see, right, router pattern. When to call human and when model should be able to answer it. So that's become the router. Your query going to the model, it is answered by your LLM, or it should go to some other path, right? Or to other path. So generally people combine your router pattern with multi-agent pattern, which is the next one. Right? And because of this industry, or because the nature of the queries are, it can be follow or it can be belonging to any department, right? We have a customer support service kind of an agent, and you know, right, the kind of products Microsoft has, right? It can be a query. The customer incident can be of Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Teams, Azure, anything, right? So we have an AI agent who first reads the customer incident and route it to the relevant teams or relevant product at which it is belonging to, right? This incident belonging to which team? Where should we route to? Who will be taking care of this? So then you have another AI agent, or let's say human in loop coming in. So that is exactly what router pattern is. Tool calling, right? Tool calling or multi-agent is something similar, but tool is exactly what we have just learned. What we have just learned, right? Single agent. Tool calling makes, or I should call a single agent pattern or tool calling pattern. You have a query now, you have an LLM, it has the tool access, let's say Zomato, PDF, the rules and regulations, the policies, when it should give refund, when it should not give refund, everything is there inside that policy, which is a document I have attached to my agent. Right? So now you can call it as an agentic. I mean, router pattern is also agentic, but the first one, LLM responder one, it was very basic, right? You write prompt and you can answer, which is like a chatbot. Now you have tools, so AI agents can go and actually query the tool. And that's what exactly AI Zomato Food Buddy is. I have a very close friend of mine who is working in Zomato. They are working on this AI Food Buddy. Right? So they have same thing. You have an input message which is text. You have agent which is, I mean, you just think it off from the Zomato perspective. What all agent I can have? I have a dish agent, I have a restaurant agent. Those are my two entities which Zomato operates on. Right? I will go and type, I want to eat something healthy and let's say crispy. Right? I want to eat something healthy and crispy. Dish agent has to give me the dishes which will follow under this criteria. Restaurant agent has to tell me which all restaurants I am nearby. Both of them talking to each other and giving me the results, right? So you see, classifier agent, this is nothing but your router agent. Classifier routing, one of the same thing. It is classifying where I should route it to, right? So that's exactly how people are building. Tool calling, router pattern, and giving the relevant tools, right? I mean, what Zomato provides, that's how the tool calling works. And the most widely adopted, or I would say, all the companies are following this, which is multi-agent. So you have multi-agent where you build one agent, which is like a manager. Your Claude code, if you have used Claude code, I'll show you Claude code. Your Claude code is exactly a multi-agent pattern. You have a main orchestrator, your manager agent, who is controlling your sub-agents. And now this is only task for one thing. That is how multi-agent pattern looks like. Right? Imagine Make My Trip. Make My Trip is building their multi-agent pattern. You have the manager agent to whom I am interacting with. A user is interacting with. I want to plan my trip to, let's say, Sri Lanka. I have 7 days. I am planning in June. Give me the best itinerary. That's it. My goal, right? Again, go to that fundamentals. My goal will be broken down into to-dos, the planning module of agent. Now, from planning module, this agent has routed for executing this task. I want to get the cheapest flights. I want to get the cheapest hotels. I have to plan 7 day trip. This agent is only recommended or only be called for getting the cheapest flights. Only, right? The job of this agent is to get me the cheapest flight in June. It will go and search for me, tell me what it is, which dates is the best combination. This sub agent is only responsible for hotels. This agent is only responsible for planning. All of them do their job parallelly, right? Do their job parallelly, come back, give all the response back to my manager agent. That is exactly what multi-agent pattern is. And finally, right, the last one, autonomous pattern. I'll again repeat, I mean, quickly repeat after all of that five patterns. This is, I mean, used rarely, or I would say not rarely, it is used in specific industries, right? Specific means where the stakes are little high, like medical domain, right? Like in medical domain, I have a generator agent and the validator agent, and they both can be different models. Now you know an agent is LLM plus planning plus memory plus tools. This can be my, let's say, GPT 5.1 LLM. This validator is my Claude. Why not? Right? I'm getting a response from my first generator agent and I'm validating it with my second agent whether it has done the right job or not. Because in, let's say, medical, the stakes are high. Right? I cannot take the risk. So you can build an autonomous pattern also in those applications, even in legal. Right? If, let's say, I'm filing some legal lawsuit type of application, my generator agent is giving me something, I am validating it with another agent because both are trained on different data. Architectures of all my large language model is same, which is transformers, right? Transformers model. Everything is same. The data is different, right? The layer by layer is different. How many? Some is 14 billion parameters. Some model is 20 billion. So size is different and data is different. So I am building a generator and validator pattern. Right. So this is where my all agentic pattern comes in very quickly before then I'll go to the next part. Basic responder who can go write a prompt, give me the answer. Router pattern who is responsible for routing my queries to the relevant LLM or human in loop. Both. Right. It can be the standalone LLMs which is solving for, let's say, tech related issues. This is solving for product related. This is solving for billing related and maybe human in loop, right? Routing. Based on your query, it is routing to the right side. Tool calling, it's a single agent you can imagine, which is calling the relevant tool for solving that task. And tool can be anything. It can be your file, it can be your API, it can be your MCP, it can be your browser, right? Like connecting a web search tool and so on. And exactly what I do, right? There is a standalone company, can you imagine, which is just a tool company. Just a tool company who is doing, I think, I would say millions in revenue. Connect your AI agents to the web. Right? So connecting an AI agent to the web, I need to connect via tool. Right? I can go to my internet, I can go into my programming. Here also, if I want to connect to internet, I can click on tool, I'll search for Tavily, and you see my now query can go and search on the internet. I have given the flexibility that hey, go and search on the internet so that you can bring the recent news or recent updates. So this is tool as a company. Obviously, it has an API. I have to go and pay after free limit. So this is exactly what people are also building, right? Trusted by 1 million plus developers. These are the companies you can see. So this is just a tool as a company. Right? So tool calling, then you have multi-agent pattern where you have one main agent talking to your sub-agents to bring you the responses back. And finally, the autonomous pattern where your manager agent is talking to your validator agent. Right? I mean, both can be different so that they can evaluate. And these are my agentic patterns. And now people are building these agents by domain also, right? Like coding agents, which most of the engineers are using, right? You and I both will be using Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, which is again free to very large extent, right? So these are all my coding agents which will help me in writing the best code for me. You have research agents, creative agents, data agents, right? Which is like data analysis. They can do full-fledged data analysis. So they are by domains. Now again, I get this question: how can we keep track what is coming? I mean, if you want to, I do a lot of market research, what people are building. Bookmark this website for you, right? There is an AI for that. I personally love this. The reason is I can find the niches which I want to see what people are building, right? Like I told you about Julius AI, right? Which was mentioned inside the deck. This is what Julius AI is, right? It is, I mean, it is positioned to go and analyze the data, right? Give you charts and everything. I think they have changed their landing page, right? Stock analysis, all of that product is there. So they can go and analyze everything inside your data. So this is just the data, you can say data analyst for you, which is personalized now. So if I want to see what are the different tasks, what are people are building inside this, you can go and find it, right? You see productivity. If you go to productivity, you'll see bunch of products that are coming in, right? Super normal app. I don't even know about it. I mean, I haven't heard about it. Something is this surething.io, open clue for beginners. If I want to see what they are doing, you just go to it. Your AI grow team always on, right? One shared brain, zero silos. Your AI COO, CMO researcher, again, multi-agent. Lot of companies are on same pattern, right? You create CEO, you create CMO, you create CTO, Chief Technical Officer, all of them working as an AI agent and giving you a response, right? So this is again multi-agent. If I now, because I know I have already built tons of applications, I can just simply land to a page and see what pattern they are in, right? This is multi-agent. Exactly a multi-agent company, what they are building, and they have the entire thing, right? I don't know how much money they are making, anything, right? I'm just coming on their website for the very first time. So this is where I go and explore what things are being built and so on. So you can also bookmark this link so that you can research. Now coming to our AI engineering workflow. This is what a typical engineering workflow looks like. You have a problem statement or you have the requirement. You go and design it. The very first thing we do is design, right? How I want systems to be interacting, which database we need to connect, right? What are my downstream dependencies? What are my upstream dependencies? So you will design the architect. How your API calls will be happening, which system should be connected, and all of that. And now I think the value is in the second point, right? The value is again on the second point only. Now, earlier it was on the third also, right? How good you can write a code, right? I mean, I know engineers who are, I mean, better than me also, obviously, right? Who can write phenomenal code, right? Optimized. I mean, I know a person in my team. I mean, he was very senior when I just joined it. I wrote some code. He gave me so much good feedback on the code that we can do this so that my optimization can come in. The time complexity of the code will be reduced to from O n squared to O of n if I just change this loop. So when they review the PR, they do it that way, right? I raised the PR, I merged, I updated one feature when I joined back in 2022 when there was no AI, right? I joined in 2022 January. There was no AI at that time, right? So there are seniors who are very good at the coding skills that they can directly go and point it out that this can be optimized. Time complexity can be reduced. But that is now, at least in 2026, we can say it is shifted. The reason is AI write a good code for us, right? So this is where AI will take care and you have testing and deployment, right? Obviously, you should know coding so that you can test, you can debug. But yes, this is what more valuable nowadays. Right? Let's build with agents. Let's look at Cursor and how things works under the hood. And we'll take one example of Cursor. I mean, building the AI agents, right? Yeah, this one. Right? So I'll take one example. But yes, let's see what are the different tools that are available, how Cursor is looking like. No, I'm not on mute. I'm speaking. Right? So let's see how the cursor looks like. What is cursor, by the way, first of all? So it's like the same VS Code. How we used to have VS Code, the IDE, which we know as Interactive Development Environment, where I write my code across different languages. I can run my code over there. right? All of that was there. Now I have intelligence layer inside that. All my IDs have become smarter, right? Be it Cursor, be it VS Code, be it your Google Anti-Gravity, all of them now has AI agents sitting with us. And that's exactly what they do. All four fundamental pillars. They can plan, they can call the right tool, they can query my database, they can go and read my document, they can even do a web search. They are already enabled a web search that if they have to bring some documentation, some API implementation, I don't have to go to the document and do it. I have to just say, hey, I want to integrate, let's say Hagen. Hagen is just an product API. I want to integrate Hagen into my application. Go and bring the documentation or bring the API for it. It will go read the documentation and bring the relevant API for it. Right? That is the reason. Am I not audible? Om, can you confirm if I'm audible clearly?
Yeah, you're audible.
Perfect. I think there is an issue for the people who are saying you're not able to hear me. So just check with your connection, right? So now Cursor is helping me the same fundamentals, right? It will plan with me, it will call the right tools with the right set of documentation, and finally it will write a code for me, which is the execution part, right? So these coding agents are aimed at writing best optimized code for me. And that's where we are positioned. So it's good for editing, right? Software fixes. You can say building features one step at a time, brainstorming with it, and so on. And now I'll show you. First, I'll show you the Cursor UI and how does it operates. And then we will go through this case study, right? The beginner level case study you can imagine. So today I'll be introducing you beginner level AI agent case study. Tomorrow you'll be going a little more advanced. Right? Tomorrow will be like a multi-agent system. So this is single agent. What we want to solve is the real world problem, by the way, right? This is real world problem. Twitter as a platform gets more than 500 million tweets daily. All of you agree, all of you know what is Twitter, right? How people go and write, right? Short size content. So the problem there is people can manipulate the information. And if you don't know the case, right, there was an entire case of that Facebook that happened, right? How they rigged the elections. Anything can happen, right? Based on the you can say sentiment of the people. They can manipulate by writing something, misinformation, wrong information, hate speech, all of that, right? So now Twitter has this problem that people are spreading hatred, right? Hate speech. They are targeting some communities. And that happens everywhere, not just in India, globally. So they want a system so that my AI agent within the span of, you can say, seconds, as soon as someone posts a tweet, can go and detect whether this is a hate speech or not. Very simple use case, practical use case, and what Twitter has already implemented. Twitter has this, by the way, right? You cannot write any hate speech. Your tweet will get automatically deleted if it get classified. So this is what we're gonna build, and let's see the live demo. Just focus on the core concepts, and I think you will be able to follow along maybe towards the end, right? Cool. Let me show you the cursor part, right? Let's forget about the code first, right? You don't worry about the code first. Only think about this is my ID, how I used to work, right? How I used to work. I'll even open something else for you so that you can actually look at some other tasks, not just these files, right? I have these, you can say, a lot of, you can say, code written here, right? How I used to have earlier also. I have to call my packages, write my code, then test it out whether it is working or not working. Now what has changed is you have got a smarter AI agent. I hope everyone has done or used it. And you have all these modes: plan, debug, ask. So now if you want ask mode, right? You are looking at this code for the very first time. Let's say I'm on this file server.py. You have never seen this code. I can go to ask mode and simply ask what, or even you can do at the rate, by the way, right? You can do at the rate and you can select this server.py file. Now it is only pointing to this and simply ask, explain me what is happening in this code. Sorry, right? Happening in this code. Simple, right? Now you have an AI assistant alongside with you who will tell you what is all about, right? That when you talk about this flow in a pan, retail mind agent server.py is a fast API backend that sits between your front end and backend, right? What it is written, startup and writing, what it is doing, it will give you, right? It has multiple agents, by the way, inventory agent, pricing agent, review agent, catalog agent. So imagine that this is the problem that we are solving, and now it has given you the entire summary that hey, what is being run, what is being written in this entire server.py. Right? This is one of the problem statement I was solving for the retail part, right? Different retail agents. But you got a point, right? I can go and ask about my file in this simple this task. Now, if I want to, let's say, change, right? If I want to add one more agent, right? Why not? I can plan with it, right? I don't have to directly jump to the agent and do it both in the same way. Because if you see, plan, search, and build everything in one go. I don't want to do that, right? I want to upgrade my, you can say, existing code or add more functionalities by first planning and then executing. Right? So this is where I'll show you the second feature, how you can improve it. Uh, your AI agent, right? So ask mode is simple. I've shown you the first mode ask, where you can go and ask about the code, right? Any code, not just this. You can ask about any code, what it is all about, right? I can now ask, see if I want to open a new tab, I can click on new agent. I can ask about this agents.py, right? You see here agents.py. Can you, I'll make it short. Can you explain me in short what this code is doing? And that's exactly what we'll be starting now, this case study. But now, if you see any new code repo, if you want to first understand, you can ask, go to ask mode and let it do it for you. Right now, it is telling you, it has quickly read the file has an one AI agent, hate speed detection, it loads the environment, right? It creates a crew AI agent and named as hate speech detector. And that's what exactly what we're gonna build today. Right. So ask mode is clear how I'm asking it. Now I'll show you plan mode also. Once I'll explain you the exactly working of this code and why I'm using Crew AI, because Crew AI is open source platform, easy to build agent, easy to visualize, easy to understand. There are multiple frameworks, right? Like LangChain, Screw AI. You have the semantic kernel. Semantic kernel is, by the way, from Microsoft. So you have all these frameworks which are written for solving my agent part of it, right? I'll show you Crew AI docs, right? How to install. You might have heard about LangChain. Semantic kernel, which I am telling you, right? Semantic kernel is from Microsoft. This is Microsoft exactly, but doing the same thing. Right, so we internally use semantic kernel, which is like in building your AI agents like kernel AI, sorry, crew.ai, or you can say. So it has everything, Lord AI models, hooks, code, plugins. So this is what we have built and we are using it, but there are multiple frameworks, right? So crew.ai is doing the same thing, and it is like free package for me to download. So first step, and you can free to choose anyone. There is no limitation, everything is free. All my packages, Crew, LangChain, Semantic Kernel, all three are free. We call it as open source packages. So you can download it, you can install it. If you go to installation part, it will take some time, but you can install it, right? You don't have to do it right now. But why these packages? Because they have made it so simple. There is a property called abstraction, right? You might know about in programming. They have abstracted a lot of code under the hood, and it makes simple for an engineer to implement. So if I don't use these packages, I have to go through the legacy of writing the full large amount of code, right? 100 lines of code, 150 lines of code. They have abstracted all of that and given me a small version of it. So this is called abstraction in your programming language, right? You have, I don't know how many of you know the OOPS concept. How many of you know about OOPS concept? Your abstraction, your polymorphism, right? All these are my OOPS concept, object-oriented programming, which is a fundamental of coding. And that's what exactly people should know, right? I'm seeing a lot of shift that they are not learning coding directly using AI agents. Right? So coding is necessary, right? No one can say that coding is not necessary. Coding is necessary. You will become 10x productive with AI agents. That's the only positioning your this entire you can say AI agents can help you with, right? So now if you want to first do, you have to install. If you are using Mac OS, you can install using this command. If you are on Windows, you can use PowerShell and you can install your Crew AI, which is an open source package for building multi-agent system or normal, and they handle everything. Right? If you see design agents, orchestrate crews, automate flows, guardrails, memory, tools, everything. They will help you build an full-fledged AI agent. And that's the reason we are using, because it is very simple to build your code. Now, once you install right from Crew AI, import agent. Very simple, right? One liner, you can say syntax, and hardly it is how many lines of code? You see 30 line of code for my very first file of creating an agent. This file is agents.py. From crew.ai LLM, import my large language model. Now you know the four pillars, right? What is my AI agent? AI agent has large language model, planning, right? Can you tell me in the chat? Planning, it has what? Other memory, it has tools. So now you have LLM importing out from my crew.llm. Now see, right? I'm giving an open router API key that hey, you go and call my API key. The model that I want to use is GPT-4o, which I'm using for this task, right? This becomes my brain of my system. And now you see, I mean, this is just a fallback, right? You can use either OpenAPI key or an open router. I have given both. I have both the keys, but I can use anyone, right? Simply both are my pointing to my same model. And now the benefit of open router is, if you want to change this model, right? I don't have to change my API key. And I don't have to go to, you can say, Anthropic and getting my new API key and use this on it. I can simply use the same API key and change the model name in my code, right? So I'll just shift it back to my original model, but yeah, I can change it without me going and updating my API key. So single API key unified for multiple models. And now you see, right? I have defined my agent with hardly how many lines of code, right? You can see hardly 5 to 6 lines of code. This is what the beauty of abstraction is. So this is an open source package. They have abstracted a lot of code underneath, right? Which is they are calling agent, right? I have already imported. So they have written the maximum piece in their library, which I am directly using it. And now you see, right? What is this doing agent? This is my agent. I am defining a role. I'm giving a goal. I've given the LLM, and there is something called backstory, which is unique to Crew AI. You will get to know, I mean, what it is doing. So, role hate speech detector. This is like the role we have given to AI. Goal: analyze the text and identify if any hate speech, offensive language is present. Right? Simple goal, high level goal, one liner goal we have given. I'll give a task separately, by the way, but this is one liner goal. LLM, I have given backstories. You are a hate speech detector for Twitter. So now model got to know that I'm only used for Twitter, not any other platform like Facebook or like Quora. No, you just have to follow for the Twitter pattern, who understand details very well and an expert negotiator. You can identify hate speech, offensive language in a given tweet, right? So simply I have made a variable of hate speech detector, which is an agent with the role, goal, LLM, and the backstory. I have not given, right? What is now? You only tell me. Now I have task.py. I have a task.py, which is a different file, and here I am using a task and I am giving this instruction. What is the difference between these two? You can just read, right? What is the difference, right? Step by step. Yes, exactly. Location is on spot. How? So you treat AI like a baby, right? You have to treat it like a like a baby that you have to give an instruction that what exactly you need to follow, what is your task. Now you are giving, right, like again chain of thoughts kind of a stuff. Analyze the following text and determine whether it's a hate speech. Use a high precision policy. Only label as hate speech where it is a clear evidence. Decision rules. First, identify whether a protected group or some characteristic is targeted, for example, race, ethnicity, religion, gender, disability. Someone can make a hate speech for anyone, right? So this is how I am giving a task, and you see a clear cut difference between task.py and my agent.py. In agent, you have given the persona for your AI agent, right? This is like a persona definition that you are a hate speech detector. Your goal is to detect hate speeches, right? Offensive language, and you are used for Twitter, like backstory that people write it, you have to detect it. But how part was missing, and that exactly the task is specifying. How? Label the hate speech only if you present a clear target, right? If hateful language is quoted, reported, discussed, all of that detailed rule we have given. If evidence is ambiguous or insufficient, choose no hate speech. And finally, you will see expected output. Return me exactly one label, nothing else, right? Don't give me reason. What happens with AI if you use ChatGPT or any other tool? They give you explanation that this is not a hate speech because this. I have to go and write it out, right? I don't give me explanation. Here also, I am giving a simple, clear-cut output that I only want a single word, hate speech or no hate speech. I'm saving my tokens, right? I don't want you to explain me. If it is a hate speech, no hate speech, I just want my AI to return me that, right? And agent, I have given my hate speech detector, which I created in my first file. In task.py, I have given a task, I have given this, done. And finally, I'll execute my main.py file where I am calling my crew and creating this crew of my agents, task, tools. Right now, we are not using any tool. Tomorrow, when you build a multi-agent system, you will see a tool is also called. Right? So now you create a crew. What do you mean? Understand what is the English meaning of crew? Crew is a group of people, right? Like group of people who are solving some task, right? That's what crew is, and that's exactly what they're calling crew AI. Right? Crew member, your cabin crew. You might have heard if you're traveling in flight, cabin crew welcomes you, right? Who is cabin crew? All your air hostess, pilot, everyone who is inside that plane, right? Cabin crew. So crew is your group of people. And now, who is this group? Agents. You have a task, right? You created an agent, you given a task, right? Verbose false means I don't want an explanation. I mean, you don't just print it out also, you just give me. And see, text I have given, AI agent is a future of workspace, right? I mean, this is a very simple. I will use some uh, good hate speech also, right? This is what coming from the different thing. I mean, different example. So if I have this text, AI agent is the future of workspace. There is no hate speech in this, right? I mean, ideally I should get no hate speech. So now if I run python.main.py, right? If I run this, I have just ran this query. It is calling my both the files and giving me the prediction, no hate speech. No other thing, nothing. Right now, what you see if you want to dissect what is happening inside it, you just change verbose equals to true. Verbose true means you will printing out the logs. And let me change it. Uh, let me change the example also, right? I will just put it here and I'll target some community or country also. Right, that country is less intelligent, capable of contributing, incapable of contributing to society. Right. Let's say I'll run this. Right. Let me not name any country for this example. Right now, I'll save this. I've changed my text. Again, I'm calling crew.kickoff. Right. You see the language now. Right. I mean, it's very simple. They have made a function called kickoff, which is kind of an English explanation that go and kick off that crew. What is a crew made up of? Crew is made up of agent, task, and just the login file, right? Maybe I can add tools. Once I have the tools example, I'll comma separated, I'll give tools, and I can give a list of my tools. Why not, right? So you can do all of those things once you build a crew out of it. So I have given this. Now if I run this again, same file, and now purpose equals to true, you will exactly see what your AI agent is doing under the hood. Right? Exactly what we wanted our AI to go through it. And if you see what it has started, right? So you see the logs. A new version of Kubernetes. Okay, this is the version it is telling me. Here it is starting. Crew AI execution started. Some ID which I can track it back. Analyze the following text to determine whether it's hate speech, right? Use these decision rules we have given, and the text is given that country is less intelligent. Hate speech detector agent is called with that same task, and finally it has given me the answer called hate speech. Task completed, they got the answer. So it is telling you what it has done. And the final response is hate speech, which is a single word. Nothing else. No logic, no reason, nothing. Single word, hate speech. So if you want to see these logs, make it true. If you don't, just make it false. Right? But you see simply, I mean, if I just count, total lines of code is less than, I think, 60 to 70. Less than that, right? Total lines of code. I mean, if I just skip this also, this is just the model calling. I have my few libraries imported. I have started off with my creating an agent, which is I've given the role, goal, large language model which I want to use, and the backstory, which Crew AI has the feature to it, right? I mean, they give a feature of creating a backstory. Everything is here in one, I would say hardly 5 to 6 lines of code, creating agent, creating task.py, and getting our main.py file, calling both of these and executing it. Right? That is that simple, right? Now let's say I want my decision to be updated. Right? Why not? Now you see the plan mode here. And that's exactly you should be following it. Right? I'll go to the file, task.py. I'll not directly start with the agent, I'll plan it. I feel some task can have, I feel some decision rules can be added to this set for making our AI agent more robust. Now it will plan, and I mean, I could have directly gone to agent also, right? Because it will think and execute in one go. I'm just showing you the planning module. It will write a plan for you. It will ask a follow-up question if it needs to, and then only it will go and execute. Right? See, good observation. The current already has 7 rules, and there are directions we could extend them. The right addition would be, see, the right addition would be to ask all these things, and now it is asking me questions. What area of decision rules do you want to strengthen? More edge cases, expand protected categories, age, caste, immigration status, right? Let's say I want stereotypes and this. Now, second question. This is the power of planning module. Should the output format stay binary or become richer? Right? Let's say keep it binary. Right? Yes, keep it binary. I don't want to change my output. I'm only looking for these two things. I don't want anything else, right? And finally, the user wants to focus on this, so it has written a plan for me. Right, good observation. The user wants me to focus and handle this. Yes. Now it is started thinking, and it is writing a plan for us so that we can. I mean, you can read that plan and then execute. Right. So it's like a two-step. If I don't use a plan mode, I can use agent mode. It will plan and implement at the same time. So there is no reviewing happening if I don't use the plan mode, right? So right now it is creating a plan. And same way Claude Code also does. If you're using Claude Code, same thing it also does in the plan mode. Now you see, make what is a goal? Make hate speech more robust on edge cases without changing the agent definition. File to change. Only one file, right? Only one file, no changes to agent.py or main.py. What stays the same? Exactly one output, right? New rules. See, now it has added 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, up to 14. And you can go and read about it. If you say, no, I don't want this 14th one, you can delete it. Anything you can do, right? So, but it is adding more edge cases, more set of instruction. And if I click on build, it will exactly see to-dos. Now you see to-dos. It has created a plan and the to-dos which we exactly learned the fundamentals of my AI agents. Now it will go and implement my task.py with this plan and I just have to go and approve it. See, it has added entire thing, and I can just keep this file. I can make these changes, and now my task is to test it out. Right? I click on keep. It's done. It is asking me to run also. By the way, that should I test your file once more? If I click on run, it is exactly running python.main.py to test whether under the hood everything is fine or not. Right? You see, I want to test and do this. I will not do this because we have already done. Right, so this is the power of my agent inside my code, which can plan, which can ask, which can I can debug with it if I want to fix, right? If I have any error, I can go and debug with it and so on. So this is how we used Crew.ai, three files, built end-to-end agent with task.py, agents.py, and our main file, where we are creating the crew and calling both of them, right? From agents, I imported my agent. From task, I imported my task. And finally, we have built our first very simple plain vanilla agent to detect the speech. Great, right? So this was the demo. I think few slides are left. It is the live demo. I think Vinay is saying it's not the live, it is live. I can tell you the date. Today is 1st of May, right? So it is live. Perfect, right? So cursor pro tips, if I want to give you, you should be adding your clear context, right? You should be writing everything in one. You can say under the hood that, hey, this is my context, this is what I want to improve. Use dot cursor rules. Yes, I think I missed this cursor rules part. If you go to cursor, right, there is same folder called cursor.rules where you can define these rules, that how you want your system rules to be applied in this. So you can say this is a set of instruction that anytime if I want to build a API, this is what I have written the rules. You are an expert in Python and fast API, right? Whenever user is asking, use this error handling and all of that, use these dependencies to make a fast API. So I can build, see React. If I want to use React framework, this is the rules for React, right? You start with the project, have the components. So this is like an instruction given to an engineer. We are giving it to the cursor. What you need to do, what you need not to do. So this is like a manual dot markdown files. Same Claude code also works on similar thing. But yeah, these are like manuals for my AI agent. So these are called cursor rules. Here in Claude code we have the folder called dot Claude. Now, cursor limitation, right? It is good for making one, two changes in your existing code and going step by step. If I give entire code repo, right, which has let's say 10, 20 files, then cursor or these VS Code and other tools have some limitation, right? They cannot do multi-step reasoning. They cannot cross-refer repositories. At least one, two files, three files, even 10 files it can handle. But when it becomes two repositories and they are dependent on each other, it struggles, right? And then we have this autonomy gap, which is fulfilled by your Claude code. I mean, nothing is better than Claude code right now. There are a lot of great platforms that are coming in, right? Like Codex has improved. I haven't tried the latest version of Codex, but Gemini came up with CLI. Codex came up with, right? I mean, Codex came. Moonshot AI came up with Kimi K2 agent to build like AI agents. So there are a lot of competition now in this autonomous agent as well. Right? So I want an complete autonomy. What do you mean by complete autonomy? Means I will give a full scenario, refactor our entire authentication system. Right? So my Claude or cursor will fail here. If I give this as my prompt that refactor entire thing, or this is the code written in Java, take this entire code and convert it into a Python code. Right? Your cursor, Google anti-gravity or any other AI tool will fail. But when you need these kind of anonymity, where you give a high-level goal and your AI agent is working for, I would say, 30 minutes, 1 hour long and building entire code files with just brainstorming session with them, then enters my Claude code. So they are complete autonomous. They are like advanced AI agents which can run in parallel. They can call different tools, different skills, add parallel, create different agents, automatically decide which skill the user need for this solving this task. I mean, complete autonomy if I give that, hey, this is my goal, go and build it, right? So your cursor was planning each file, moving step by step. Claude Code agent, you brainstorm with it, create a plan. Once I give the permission, now go and execute this plan. If it requires to build 20 files, maybe 50 files, with all requirement.txt, with all .py, .server, front end, back end, APIs, everything end to end. So that is where Claude Code comes in. It builds the entire system, right? And again, it works on four fundamental pillars: planning, tools, memory, and execution. This will never change. So I always focus on first principle, right? I always tell people, and that's how, I mean, I'm not saying this. Elon Musk, who is the person you know, all of you know, he also every time says focus on first principle. And that's how entire company was built by him, right? Where he built a rocket from the scratch. So if you know first principle, you can build agent. So first principle of my Claude Code still the same: planning, tools, memory, and execution. It will never change, right? So Claude Code is good for starting a new project from scratch. You brainstorm with it. It will go in a plan mode and do all that stuff. And finally, it can execute end to end. Right? I can show you one of my, you can say, previous sessions where I have brainstormed, because I mean it is very expensive, by the way. It is not free. At least Cursor is free, right? The Cursor one which I demoed to you, I am using a free plan, right? I'm not using a paid plan. You can see above, upgrade to Pro. This is the free plan I am using. I have Google Anti-Gravity open. This is also free, right? I am building a lot of great stuff using anti-gravity. I have VS Code also, which is again having free Copilot, right? I mean, the GitHub Copilot. So GitHub Copilot is also free inside VS Code. I also have that. So I use all three. So it depends on. I have three different editors. I use all three to build different products, different code, and all of that. Right. So I have VS Code also. All three are free. I mean, Cursor is paid, but I am using the free version till it gives me the free limit. Once I get out of my limit, I switch to anti-gravity, or I switch to I mean, the day-to-day job works on this VS Code, right? And company, we have to use this, so we shift on this. So I use all three depending on what I am solving. But when it comes to Claude Code, it is expensive, right? It is quite expensive. It has a plan, right? How to install. I'm just showing you. Again, you have to pay before using this tool. But it's again a terminal based, mostly prefer terminal based. But now it has the you can say extension in all the editors. But I don't use extension, right? They are pretty bad in terms of getting the desired output. So it works best on the terminal. So Mac, Windows, right? All of that, you just need to run this command. And now if I go to my path, right? Yes. Right, now if I go to my path, which is, let's say, right, I'll say clear. So this is my terminal. I know this is quite a small, right? If I make it a big, it will still become a small, right? Small text for you. So I'll just make it a small only. But yeah, you can just focus on the screen. So I go to my path, right? So you should know a little bit of Linux commands, I would say, right? Terminal commands, so that you can operate with this, right? So I'll say cd. What happened? I'll just open a new terminal, let's say. It's getting hanged. Right? So cd, OneDrive, personal project. CD means change directory. And I have agents done. Right? So I'm in this path. Now if I do ls, I can see all my files, right? You can see jarvis.py, LangChain, every other project that I have in this agents folder. Now if I say Claude, it will start a Claude session inside this. Right? So my Claude session will start invoked. Now it will go and call the Claude. And I hope this is already running for me. Yes, right? So I can see my Claude code got started here. This is my main agent inside this, right? If I do slash agents, I can see all my agents which I can running. I mean, in this I don't have. I have in a separate repo. So here you can see all your agents which are working, or I can create a new agent as well, right? If I go here, I can create it agents. I can see the library, or I have an option of creating a new agent. So if I want to create a new agent, I'll just click on create new, let's say entire project, generate with Claude, and you can tell what you want to build. Right? I can say, I want a, I'll just give a goal. I want a front end engineer who will use modern tech stack to build great UI UX, right? I can mention, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React. I mean, I'm not a front-end developer, I'm a backend, right? But I can build my agent who can do it this for me, right? CSS, JavaScript, maybe let's say React, etc. I don't know what all other frameworks are available. I'll just give a high-level goal, right? So now this will go and build me an AI agent. No, just some response. Okay. Just a second. I think I need to log in. Yes, I was expecting, right? So I have got logged out. It is asking me to log in. So it will open a browser for me. I'll try to log in from my account. Okay. So it is asking me to log in. Can you check it once? It is asking me the Apple
Paste.
on Oppo phone.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. It's on tools console ID.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, if it is asking you a number, I can tell you.
You can send me in the chat. I can just quickly check.
Okay. Perfect. I think I am asked home also before the session. Rest.
Okay. One second.
Yeah, I can send you in the chat also.
Yeah, give it about 10 seconds. I'll quickly
Done. Perfect. Right. So let me log in. But the point is what I'm trying to make that you can build your entire AI agent system inside this. Right. So once I'm logged in, I can use my slash commands. That's how exactly it works. Right. I can show you all of them. So if you see front end design, this is where it is coming. If I click on this, I mean, still it is asking me. But yeah, if I show you the exactly how the front end design is written. If I go to my dot Claude, right, you can see here, I can see my agents folder inside this, see my senior front-end engineer.md, and this is exactly the multi-agent is what I was building. Right, I was exactly building a similar for my different repo. Since it is going to log in, we can see this part that I have my front-end engineer. You see the description where AI is telling use this agent when the user needs help with front-end development, UI, UX, component architecture, everything related to my front-end part. And you see the core expertise what this brings me. Right? I even don't know about these frameworks, but still it is good at solving this for me and I can build through it. Right? Design first parameter, UX decision framework, component architectures, self-verification checklist. So it is doing a great stuff under the hood. And whenever I'll call and say that, hey, design me a front end, I'm what building this product or this project, it will go and do it end to end. This is the power of my Claude Code agent, and they work in parallel, by the way. Right? They are not working sequentially that one has to wait on the other. I have one called Senior Code Optimizer. So you can build multiple agents. Now you see the job of this agent is use this agent when you need to comprehensive code review and optimization feedback on recently written code. Exactly the job of our senior engineer in my company, right? What I told you, that that person is very good at writing code. He's principal level engineer. He's there from, I would say, 20 years in the company. From last 20 years, he's there, and he's very good at coding. When I say very good, I mean I have never met a coder like him, right? He's like a real coder for me. I mean, I aim if I can become like him, right? He's a pro coder, and that person know in and out of optimization. So I try to mimic that if I can have a code optimizer for me, right? So you see, you are a senior software engineer with 15 plus years of experience across multiple languages, architectures, domains. What do you have to do? You have to analyze the architecture, whether it's based solid principles, right? It should be based on our solid principles. Complexity analysis, time and space complexity. Whether the written code is optimized, whether it is requiring it to improve it, right? All of that, how it is having, how it is showing me that it should be able to do it. Right. So let me try to log in at once. If it works now, it is asking for two multi-factor authentication. So where I got blocked, if it happens, let me do that. Guys, break is not even there. We are about to end. This is the last part of our session, right? So I at least what we have covered. I'll just do a quick recap as well. So there is no break, but just to show you how to build an agents end to end, and that's how exactly what we built.
See the chat?
Just yes, I got it, chat. I mean, I'm logging. It was just asking me the you have to tell. I mean, it is asking for approval of the code with the number it is giving.
This is different account. You can just try very quickly with once this one. This won't ask for a code.
No, it is asking me.
Oh, the same email that
No. I mean, I use the tools one, not skill one. Yeah, it is asking me.
Wow.
Should I send you the code if you have the phone?
No, it's with someone else, and that person will not.
Cool. I think we have covered it, so I am showing you here only. It's never mind. Never mind. Right. So we have seen, right? This is how my Claude code is making these agents in parallel. And I can still show you all the commands which are mostly used because this is still working for me. Right. So you build your multiple agents here, and you have the entire thing. If I go and resume, right? If I say resume, you see here, I can resume all my sessions, what I have built through it, and that's how the power of my AI agents, I mean the Claude code, that I can resume from that point of time. I don't have to start every time from scratch. And this is, if you started building today, I can come back tomorrow, build again on top of it, and keep on improving the features on that. So these commands become handy, and you see the context window also here. Right? My system prompt is taking few of my context window. My system tools are taking few of my context window. And that's the reason I told you in the beginning, be careful of giving the right set of tools. Right? Because your agent has to go through each and every tool description. So you should be the one who is designing this. That okay, I need 10 tools, I'll giving 10 tools only. Right? And that's how you have entire thing to be built inside my Cloud. And rest everything is same, right? I'll go to my plan mode. You see here, I'm switching my modes, right? You can see here plan mode on. I can shift tab and I can do it auto mode on, right? Yeah, just a second. I can switch it my plan mode on. I can make a try mode on, and I can simply build it autonomously once again. So if I go to my plan mode right here, I can start with this. I want to build, right? Let's say multi-agent system. I'm just giving you a reference, right? How you can envision this thing. I want to build an AI agent system who will go, let's say, multi-agent system, who will plan trips for make my trip. I'm just giving a high level, right? Build 3 agents, which is what? Flight, hotels, and itinerary planner. So what do you have given? You have given a plan mode on. I have given a high level goal. Now what AI will do? AI will go run, devise the plan, and tell you which all things it needs to execute that plan. Right? So it will make a detailed plan, and once you go and approve, it will build the entire structure inside my code. Right? That's the power of my autonomous agents. I can't increase the font size. It's like this. But yeah, you got to know, right? I'm using it inside the terminal, so it is a little small coming in. But yeah, this is how the Claude code works. It's like an autonomous. But you got the point that I can be building it across repositories. It can refer to the entire, like you see the file system, right? I have the entire set of files. If you see how many files it can refer to the entire schema. Not just one folder, two folder. It can refer to all the schema at once, irrespective of how the cursor was doing. Cursor was having one access. If I give that I have another file present at this path, it will go and create it over there. So everything in Claude code is like slash commands, right? You can see these commands. In it means initialize the new Claude.md file, which is like a Bible for it, right? So you see all these commands slash. I have a friend design agents. Agents will tell me all the agents. Clear will just clear all the my memory. So all these becomes my slash commands to operate with my AI agent. So generally you will see how to build it. Go to plan mode on, plan with AI agent, get your planning done. It will just lay out the plan and all the files. Click on auto accept, then go back and grab your coffee. So once you auto accepts, it will go and build end to end. Not just one file, two files. Let's say your code base requires you all the files. It will go and build it everything from the scratch. And what's your job then? Your job is to test it out. Right? Like this entire thing, I can show you maybe. This one. Yeah, this one, right? Exactly. You see all my new files, right? It is exactly being written entire end to end by AI. I just made an agent with multiple agents talking to each other, all of them working in parallel, right? With router.py, run.py, my requirement.txt, everything end to end is this. And you see my problem statement which I have given to my AI agent, right? That you are building an AI powered strategy solution, you are an AI engineer, a mid-sized commerce company. This is the plan which it has written and built a sales analysis, pricing strategy, and it's a multi-agent system. Right? So you have to go and build the plan with AI, review it, whether it's right or wrong, can you change it? This is the detailed plan which it has given me. And once it has implemented, all the entire thing, agents.py, config.py, it has built end to end. I have just gone and test my solution. Right? So every memory, tools, everything it will take care. You just need to provide the access of your tools, which is the API key or the MCP server you need to connect to it. Right? So Claude.md is your operating manual, like an instruction step-by-step guide when you start your new projects. So go to Claude, do a command in it, and you can go and describe about it. So you can see this is like multi-agent. Your main agent is talking to your backend agent, which I have created. I have created a front-end engineer. So if I have given a goal of my product that this is what I want to build, all of them can work in parallel. At least for, I would say, initial design. Right? When they want to connect my backend and front end, then they need to know each other dependencies. But first, initially, they can start independently. They will lay out the plan. The front end engineer will go and invoke, the back end will invoke, and everything is coordinated via multi-agent system. So this is exactly what the true application of multi-agent is. So in Claude code, you have to write the goals, not instruction. And I've seen this mistake is done by a lot of people. Lot of people do this mistake. They give a very detailed instruction. I met few folks that they were saying Claude code is not giving them results. The reason is they are giving a prompt. Your Claude code doesn't require a prompt, right? This is not an LLM. This is not your chat GPT that you have to write a good prompt where you should have a persona task. You should have a clear cut your context given everything. No, you should write a goals. Right, goals means I want to build this. What tech stack you want? What is the problem you're solving? That's it. Then let it come with a detailed plan. You review that detailed plan. That's how you should build it. If you give a lot of instruction, it get confused. Right? Because they are autonomous agents, they don't need a lot of instructions that do this, do that. Claude Code doesn't need it. Right? Or any autonomous agent doesn't need it. They are good at understanding and dissecting and making the plan. Let it build a plan for you. So always use plan mode. Once you have done plan mode, then go and review it and then start building it. You change plan. I plan. Planning itself takes me an hour sometimes, even more than an hour, because implementing is now handed over to Cloud Code. Plan takes 1 hour or maybe more because I keep changing the layout, I keep changing the architecture, I brainstorm with it, I defend my points that why you are selecting this, can we do this as a better way, and then sometimes it's a agree, yes, I think you are giving me a right direction, right? So direction is what you need to brainstorm with it, and that's how the future of agentic patterns looks like, right? So these are all my autonomous agents which will come handy and which will be sitting alongside you in your workplace, if not right now, maybe next 6 months you will be using all these tools. I'm using from last, I would say, already 6-7 months in our companies. Every single piece of code or new feature is written by AI. Right? If it's a very big feature, if it's a very small change, obviously we don't use it for wasting tokens. We use it for a every big feature, right? So now, when Claude Code also struggles, this is just the last slide, by the way. Just one more after this, but we are about to end our session. So that's the reason I just want you to focus when it can struggle. When you have very large code bases and you get out of token limit, right? Lot of people, you might also agree if you are using, your tokens get exhausted. Because you don't use the plan mode, you don't use the right way of asking the Claude Code, and it gets out of your context window or the token limit, and it tells you come back later. So you avoid that large code bases at once, right? Avoid that. Avoid giving that read all my files and then come to me. Point it to the relevant file. That use this file, read it, I want to implement 1-2 features at a time and then slowly increment it. So that you are not, because let's say if I get out of tokens limit, again you have to start from scratch. Right? So which is like a repetitive looping pattern. So if you're saying yes, all of the people who get this problem, start with plan mode, give 1 to 2 tasks at a time as of now, and then start building your entire feature set, right? Give it step by step instruction that, okay, this is my features, what in the plan, go and implement it. So it will implement first feature, second feature. Let's say at third feature, it get out of token, but your 2 features are already built, right? So that's how you should aim it at. Give your domain expertise, brainstorm with it, build it as a collaborator, right? Don't let it to take all the decision. Don't just blindly plan it with it and agree. So if you are a coder at heart, plan it with it, give a system design architectures, let it build the entire thing afterwards, right? So the power of combination, which I can tell you, right? Use Claude AI to research, to save tokens. Claude AI is free, right? Claude AI is your desktop Claude, not the Claude code. So research with that, plan with it, right? You have a free limit to very large extent. That you can use the planning mode in good model, solving this problem. At least get a filtration of your planning done with Claude AI. Once you do the research part, do it with Claude AI. Now you have a specific pointers. I want to build this, how I am planning, which architecture I am looking at, and what tech stack I'll be following, right? The language. Then go and write it in the plan mode so that you have a clear-cut answer. Right? Don't start from research in Claude. I've seen people again doing research. That I thought to build a multi-agent system for a booking platform. Is it a good option? Right? They are asking this question to Claude Code. Is it a good option to build? And he's replying you like a chat GPT. Yes, you are thinking in the right direction. Let's go and build. You are wasting tokens, right? Of Claude Code. So go and plan, do all your research in that. Once you are satisfied, this is what I want to solve and to the point, come to Claude Code, plan it with. Once you have the plan, let it be implemented, right? Once it started implementing, if you have built one, two features, you can shift to Claude Code because you have got all your files, right? You have got your structure. One more addition, you can say new feature you want to add, go to Cursor. That hey, this is good. I am running like how I did for my hate speech one. This is good. This is running for me. Can we improve it? Can I add a new feature to it? And then finally you can do quick edits in that, right? So use mix and match or combination. If it's like a full implementation from scratch, Cloud Code works the best, right? And that's how you should review it and finally deploy. So Power is like combining both of these. So you choose your strategy, choose different ideas like I'm using all three. I'm using Cloud Code, I'm using Cloud AI, everything I'm using inside that. And that's how you should make your plan. And the last but not the least, right? Last slide is never give your agents production access. I think I iterated this at the beginning and I'm reiterating towards the end. Never give your production access. No matter they achieve 90% sweep benchmark, 95% benchmark. I mean, at least I will never give my production access. I'll use it for my development. I'll use for my end PP. That is fine. I'll test it and you will supervise it. You will push it. Right? Review all the code. Use staging environments, which is I'm talking about int, PP, and prod. Validate all your things. Validate your external API, right? Whether it has not exposed any of your APIs, everything is secured, nothing is going on the internet, right? This is again the Google stats that after AI has been coming into the market, right? A lot of vibe coders directly push everything, right? And right now on the internet, all your LLMs API keys are available. There is a one website which has API keys of OpenAI, Google Gemini, which people have shipped it. And they don't even know about that. That by mistake I have shipped my API on the code. Right? So you search for it, right? I'll not go to that website. You search for it, the GitHub repo which has all the exposed model APIs. You'll get that. And people are trying, few of them, some are getting out because if I got to know, I'll delete it. But for some people, some of the keys actually work. So you see, you are using someone else's keys who got exposed on the internet. So you should be the one who is validating that, right? And keep sensitive data out of your prompts, right? That's obviously we have to care about. So that's all. I think that's all about me. Before I go and hand it over to Om, quickly summarizing what we have covered till now, right? For all the people who joined late also can get a quick summarized version of it in really quick under 5 minutes thing. We started off our session with first thing, which is what is an AI agent. We saw that four fundamental pillars of my AI agent: planning, tools, memory, knowledge, or execution. We went on to each and every module. Planning is chain of thoughts, tools is my database, MCPs, APIs, memory is my long term and short term. And finally, we saw agentic patterns, right? These agentic patterns we saw. What are the different agentic patterns we have? Sorry. Right? What agentic patterns we have, which is my basic responder, router pattern, tool calling, multi-agents, right? This is where I'm calling multi-agents. These are the patterns you should write in your prompt to Cursor and Claude AI, right? Claude Code. Autonomous pattern, and we have seen there is an AI for that for different agentic domains. We saw Cursor, how to use plan mode, how to use ask mode, how to build your first AI agent using Crew.ai. And this repo link will be shared again. A lot of people are asking, will I get this? You will get this entire repo link where I have hosted this code, right? I mean, after tomorrow's session, because tomorrow we will be building a little advanced one, right? So I just covered the beginner one, right? I just covered the beginner one. You have something tomorrow coming which is advanced, right? Which I will not reveal. That's a surprise for you. And my very close friend will be coming. I think will tell you about that. Who will be teaching you. So advanced agents is multi-agents coming tomorrow. But today we covered beginner and we will share the repo link towards the end of the session. And that's how we build our